Hi friends, welcome back to Achtung, Cthulhu. We've been away for a week, but we're back this week. We're back fighting the secret war with all of our lovely chums currently in Austria, in Vienna. It's where we're at in terms of the story. Especially welcome to you if you're watching on YouTube. We're live every Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern. That's 10 p.m. in the evening on GMT until the war is over. I am Sam Webb. I am lead developer for roleplay games at Modiphius and at Black Cats Gaming. I just kind of mixed those up for a second. So I'm running this as kind of part of our playtest, I guess, for Achtung Cthulhu, the 2D20 edition. So these lovely folks are helping me try out bits of the game, which hopefully we'll be kind of covering a fair amount of this evening. So let me go round, chat to these fine folks who are with us. Pruitt, how are you doing? You said you were very cold earlier. It's like 1 degree Celsius or like, what's that Fahrenheit something?
It's the mid-30s, about 35. Freezing is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. That's nice. your benchmark. Nice. I'm doing great. It's awesome. I'm here in Austin, Texas. It's been fun. It's been a hard wait to get back to this because I love action in Cthulhu, even though that's the thing you really shouldn't do. And so I've been wanting to get to it so bad, and so I can't wait to see what pops off at the fair today. Because rest assured that Captain Ward, he's going to be using that pistol. He's going to use it to great effect. I'm projecting, of course, confidence because I've been rolling like shit for 2 weeks now. Even made a meme about it. You should check it out on my Twitter. Back to you, Sam.
Tonight's your night, man. Don't worry about it.
We're going to turn it around! Sorry.
Yeah. I have hyped everyone up for this. There's going to be something's going down. Got this meeting going on. I'll do the recap in a minute. But Tabletop Ward is with me. This is Virginia, and I saw her not long ago today in the office. How are you since the last we talked?
I'm okay. I've had food since then, so everything's good. But hello, I'm Virginia. I also work at Modiphius, and I get to do fun things with games every day, and then play this. And this is the second time I've played Achtung today, which is fun. I was rolling really well earlier when I was GMing it, so guarantee you my rolls will be all 20s tonight now.
Ones are good, 20s are bad. Don't forget that. Susanna Grace, hello.
Hello.
You're not a vampire.
Ages. I'm not a vampire today. Yet. Who knows? But yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I've been practicing my German. Guten Tag.
Nice. I was about to reply, but I've been learning Italian genuinely, so I'm like, my brain's everywhere.
So yeah, I'm hyped to get back into it. Can't wait to finally use that pistol I've had in my handbag for 3 weeks.
She knows.
Everyone knows. Everyone knows what's going on.
Casually, so excited my headscarf falls off, but Anyway, hi.
Awesome. Shauna, you were drinking from a Star Trek mug. That's awesome.
Yes, thanks. Yeah, excited. In inverse of the US thing, we are practically in t-shirt weather up here in Northeast, so weather's super weird.
Nice. Weather is weird.
Yeah.
It's true. And Callum, you're with us. Hello.
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 Tonight I'm sponsored by paracetamol and phenylephrine, which will help me treat my sore throat. Yeah, I'm very excited to find out who's that mysterious character from my past who surprised me as I was shadowing our little encounter.
Yeah, man. Oh, if I don't know, if we can donate Callum some lovely little natural ones, fortune points, I don't know, whatever. Feel generous to him tonight. Thank you for coming on and actually playing with us, even though you probably feel rubbish.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. No, should be all right.
Cool. All right. Well, let me get over with the sponsorship stuff. So today we're going to be using Fantasy Grounds for all of our virtual tabletopping needs. If you need a virtual tabletop, go over to fantasygrounds.com. We're also sponsored by Wayland Games, just down the road from me in Essex. If you want cool miniatures or some lovely discount games, go to waylandgames.co.uk. Or if you're nearby, pop down. They have an awesome gaming area as well. And then there's a new sponsor that I'm very worried about because I think there's a dangerous subscription service that they provide, and they are at diceenvy.com, where you can get some awesome dice sent to you every month for starting from just $5 a month. That's scary because I think if I subscribed, it would just go up and up and up, and then I would just be surrounded by dice, even though I am already. So that's really cool. But they are also giving away a set of their dice, I believe. If you can retweet this tweet that's knocking around somewhere in chat, then if you can do that, we can get 20 retweets of that. Then they'll be giving away some dice, I believe. If I'm lying, will I apologize? I don't know. This was updated very recently. You can donate any critical successes, which are natural ones, or any complications to the group, which are 20s, as well as any kind of weird Cthulhu-y magic surges for like weirdness and occultist stuff. And then there's also the table of pets. We've had everything from a motorcycle to Telly the dog, so you can donate that kind of cool stuff too. And we're open to kind of custom donation stuff too, like we had for equipment. So last week we had some donations for Prue. I believe you got a silencer.
Yes, I did.
Awesome. I think you could just have that. I think that was just something I think you packed away, ready to go, and I'm quite happy with it. We don't have to kind of weirdly, annoyingly insert that into the narrative in any way. That's all cool.
Whatever you're comfortable with, Sam.
Sweet. And V, if you're happy with your scrying mirror giving you some free stuff, I guess, free magical
maybe
stuff.
Maybe just make it I was thinking that it just turns into like a kind of difficult like skill test to use rather than me spending fortune points. So like. Sure. Difficulty 4 or 5 or something, because I've got the experienced Scry Truth as well, so I'm happy with it being hard to do. All
right, cool. Well, vary the difficulty based on truths and stuff in the scene. So yeah, no, that's all cool. I'm happy with that. Was there anything I missed of that? No. There is something I didn't mention from it, but we'll find out what that is later. No. All right. Oh man, I've got a very, very short, brief note recap we're going to do. Okay, so let's think back to last session. So the guys went and finally met with Gisela Voltram, who is the grieving widow of the Dr. Ehrlichman. She put on a bit of a performance for everyone in the cafe because she wasn't sure who would be watching her. So the group made contact, and then the SS turned up, and the Nazi officer whose tires Ward had slashed or cut the brake fluid, maybe, came in to ask people who had conspired to do that outside the same cafe that they just made contact with Gisela. And then Khan decided to punch someone in the face. That someone, though, was a member of the Sphinx Reading Club, where the party had gone the week before to look into Dr. Ehrlichman's work, and had met some kind of prying eyes there at the club. And one of these patrons was in the cafe at the time. Virginia managed to, when everything went down, basically kind of freeze the Nazis in their place with some weird, crazy mind magic. And everyone basically did a runner for it. Trying to kind of reconcile what was going on, they've got a meeting with Gisela this evening. That is where we left things off. But beforehand, Virginia did a bit of scrying in her mirror, and her last image that she got was a gloved hand placing a Walther PPK in a handbag, with a face covered by a lace veil and a flash of bright red lips. Drawing links to her contact in Vienna, Constance insists she shouldn't be allowed to reach for her bag in this meeting. Now, guys, it all went a bit crazy last time. So I am going to introduce something that's fairly new to 2D20 with Achtung Cthulhu, and that is a consequence track. So this is going to basically work a bit like a stress track, whereby it has like a maximum stress like you do, and then we'll be marking stress off based on the kind of thing that you do. Let's move that over there. This stress track is going to be called Wanted by the Nazis. So if you overtly interfere with the Nazi regime in Vienna, and you are seen doing so, then I am going to roll some challenge dice for this consequence track. So that can include attacking the Nazis, sabotaging their gear, speaking out against them publicly, all that kind of thing. And there are 3 setbacks. So like you guys have 3 injuries, there's going to be 3 setbacks in this consequence track. Each setback means that something new will happen that will kind of impede your kind of ability to work out stuff in Vienna. All right. So I am actually going to ask Callum to roll for me 4 challenge dice for the cafe incident.
For D20?
No, 4 normal D6. So these are the challenge dice. So we're going to count 1s, 2s for 1 and 2 scores, and then we're going to count 5 and 6 as effects. Now, have I got any effects in this thingy? No. Okay, cool. So they're just going to
Before I roll, I'd like it to be on the record. I identified this guy from the Sphinx as a Nazi, so I was the first to punch a Nazi in that campaign, right?
All right.
You can give me that before.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, here you go. 4 D6s.
Yeah. So look, so 5 will be in effect, so that counts for 1. So there's just 1 stress goes onto this track. So that's not too bad.
Did we also recover our stress from the previous session, or not?
Yeah. So stress goes away at the end of the scene. So you're all good. So I'll just note that goes down to 9 like that. So we've marked off just 1 stress. So actually, you guys haven't caught too much attention. The fact that you guys did a runner, got disguised, that's all kind of fine. I'm also going to give you guys 1 resistance for this. You know how you have like armor, whereby you actually ignore a certain amount of stress that you take on a kind of attack. You can have something like that. This is due to your disguises, and now after that roll, going to give it some resistance. So it's got a resistance of 1. So every time we roll on this, if you do something bad against the Nazis, that kind of thing, then the resistance will ignore 1 point of stress on that D6 dice roll. So that's all cool. All right. So we left off around near the Wiener Riesenrad, which is the big Ferris wheel in Vienna's amusement park area. I believe it was the Price sisters that made contact with Gisela. And I believe she left off by saying, we haven't got much time. Now, I want everyone to remember the little house rule that we instigated that actually I do want to follow through with at the very beginning of the kind of session 0. I think we chatted about it, where allo rules apply. So people doing the accent, or me doing the bad accent, means that they're speaking in the language. So Callum, if you want to speak French or Wayun or something, then speak in the accent. If you want to speak Spanish, we'll do some bad Spanish accents at each other, as we're probably about to do. And if we want to speak German, then we shall talk like the Germans.
But I don't think that's going to be a problem for me. After all, my character is a polyglot, isn't he?
There we go, right? So you can flip between stuff, and hopefully we'll make that make sense. So actually going to cut away to Georges and him meeting with his contact. So this face you saw last time was very familiar. you made contact, kind of eye contact across the amusement park, and he basically stared you out. Gave you a little and walked around the corner of one of the stalls. As you walk past, there are kids, it's coconut shy, they're throwing balls, trying to hit the coconuts off the tall plinth things, about chest height. As you walk past, one of the coconuts gets clocked off, and the kid's jumping up and down, "Way!" And you turn the corner, and there is the back of your familiar acquaintance. It's just quickly smoking a cigarette and having a quick glance around. What do you do?
So we are sort of in a corner, then we can talk without anyone overhearing too much.
You'll need to be quiet, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I did not expect you to meet here. I didn't know you would be traveling to Vienna in such a season.
Yeah, hello, friend. How are you?
I am well. I'm here with the family, enjoying the fair. We're supposed. Yeah, the family. We thought it would be nice to enjoy this area, and actually it turns out we are supposed to meet someone. How about you?
Yeah, I've been staying nearby. I've been enjoying Vienna for a while now, but the weather is becoming a bit inclement.
Yeah, that's a pity. Well, maybe since you're familiar with Vienna more than me and some tourists, maybe you could help us find our way around, and maybe it could be an opportunity for you to visit other places. Is it something you would be interested to do? Just a bit of travel, a change of scenery?
Yeah, I'm traveling to Rome soon. My family need me there.
I see. Well, I'm sure we know people in Rome, so yeah, if you can be helpful here, I can tell a good word, and yeah, maybe we could help each other. It's normal between old friends.
I need your help. And he almost, you can see it in him immediately. He kind of breaks this labored speech and this kind of tack that you guys have been on. So there's been a sudden increase in German activity in Rome. It needs investigating. Agent Pusquino has disappeared, and Agent Lucrezia needs our help. I need to go soon, but I don't know what reinforcements wait for me. Could you help?
I can certainly see what I can do. You said Lucrezia, and what was the name of the other? Pasquino. Does that ring a bell in terms of the Spanish Maquis network I'm familiar with?
Sure. Let's get you to make a roll. This is going to be difficulty 3, I think. Mm-hmm. This is definitely going to be like reason, because you're trying to remember something. And skill-wise, what do you reckon? Something like stealth, maybe? More kind of like urban stealth? You're trying to remember. This is kind of code name type stuff, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, if you're happy with stealth, it will be stealth. I was wondering if my war started early, militant in Spain. could have helped me, or my other truth, which is part of the resistance, could lower that difficulty?
Yeah, sure. Actually, do you know what? Yeah, absolutely right. So this is difficulty 2, and yeah, if you can reason a different skill for me, then I'll absolutely take it.
I mean, stealth is my highest skill, so I'm not going to argue against myself.
Sure. I think it works because it's about your knowledge of the anti-fascist kind of team. So, yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I can tell you're definitely a fair game master who can be generous. So that's 2d20, just rolling.
Yeah, 2d20 base. We've got no momentum at the top of this scene, but if you want to buy any dice, you can always give me threat. I have been making a mistake here, so thanks to Nathan. I do keep a track of my threat between sessions, but at the end of the adventure we wrap up, and at the beginning of the next adventure in the campaign, then I'll start again at like 10 for you guys. Okay. So I'm on 13 basically is what I'm trying to say.
So yeah, okay, reason plus stealth, that's 13. I'm just gonna roll it like that. So 2d20, here we go.
Nice. 2 successes, yeah?
Yep.
Sweet, yeah. Okay, so these are code names, and they're actually names. Let me try and find the page. They're actually names of... I believe they are definitely code names, and I believe they are names of statues in Rome. So, and this just reminds you of the fact that messages were often left around this kind of thing, statues, points of interest, that kind of thing, secreted in cracks and crevices and stuff. So definitely using this, these code names, draws a key parallel to your previous activities before.
Okay. From the Mackie, what would be, through experience, the best way to keep in touch with him, to get back in touch with him, or if I want to help him out?
I honestly don't know. I'm very willing for you to establish something, to let me know as well.
Okay. So I'm gonna make up. I'm gonna tell him near the Vatican there's a there's a restaurant called La Quercia. Tell him I can use it as a mailbox, and he can contact me through there, and I can contact him through there.
Okay.
With somewhat large delay. It's not like picking up a phone, but
yeah, it's like letters, isn't it?
Yeah. So I sent out a message for him to be helped, and he can leave information for me there. I go back in the conversation with him. Is our contact here now with the Price sisters already?
Yeah, so you take a quick glance around the corner of the stall, and from the time that you've been speaking to this guy, you see that they've essentially already gone into one of the carriages of the turntable thingy. I've forgotten his name already.
I will.
Ferris wheel?
I will.
That's the one.
I will just tell it. Well, we will be helping you. Contact me through this restaurant tonight. I would appreciate if you could. I point at the location where the trio is. I say this Fräulein there is a widow. I'm not sure I should trust her. If you happen to recognize her, let me know, and otherwise let's say goodbye for tonight. But if you're around and could lead us a hand if something goes wrong, I would appreciate. But regardless, take good care of herself, my friend, and we'll meet back again in Rome, or at least I will reach you out.
If you really need me, then go to a chocolate shop on the more central Straat and ask the little boy in the shop if he has any Cadburys. And then he turns and walks.
That would be quite suspicious to ask for terrible chocolate in a country where they got good ones.
Provocation, sir. Oh, you're
I
getting
am
it later.
being nice. It barely qualifies as chocolate in my vocabulary, but
Sure. So we pan over to the girls at the Vina Rice and Rad. And you enter a what kind of actually looks like a small train carriage. You walk in and the layout is of 3 tables, like cafe tables almost, of 4 seats each. She takes a seat. She has 3 tickets for it, and the conductor, just before you go in, a kind of attendant, takes the 3 tickets. You guys sit down at a table. There are other patrons inside the carriage. There's a family of 4 behind you, 2 parents, mum and dad, and 2 young girls. And then there is a couple on another table who have taken up a 4-top, but they're sitting, and they have a little picnic basket with them, and they're enjoying a bottle of bubbly. And to your surprise, Gisela says, "So, how many of you are there here?"
Enough of us.
So I didn't think you came alone.
Considering what happened this afternoon, it's probably good that we have friends.
Yes, well, we could all do with some friends here in Vienna. How do you know Alec?
He often purchased things from the place I worked at. I know he had interests in the occult. Occasionally some books caught his interest and we would have them sent over. Nothing more than that.
Well, that's cleared that up. What about yourself?
Similar thing. You know, having a researcher at a museum is good for identifying and finding other things. Useful work relationship.
Yes, I suppose so. But I never took
How
Alec
do you
as
know
a
Alec?
bookish type. We had a thing a while back. Doesn't mean much now. Well, ladies, I'll cut to the chase. I believe my fiancé, Bolo, was murdered here in Vienna. His body was found in the Alps 1 week ago, frozen in the snow, one of the high-up resorts there. But I do not accept the, how do you say, the report of the doctors.
What did the report say? What was his official cause of death?
That he'd been out there too long. Exposure, is it? I don't believe that for a second. Bolo just isn't like that. He's a careful man. Barely ever leaves the house without a hat on if it's raining.
other than the fact it was out of character for him to suffer such a fate, is there anything else that points to foul play?
Well, yes, of course. I mean, I do suspect a few things. He mentioned that he was meeting people about his research, his current research. He was looking into the DOG archives. He was looking at some old artifacts there, and he was told he was meeting members of the SS, but quite frankly, I don't believe that either. Neither did he. I don't really know what else to tell you.
Can I want to roll like insight on her, because I want to see if there's anything in what she's telling us that seems like it's not quite the whole truth, like she's holding something back.
Sure. Roll insight for me then. Is that a thing?
Observation.
So many
So I've got
games.
instincts.
Yes.
Is that as a focus?
What other focuses do we have? Just remind me, because if there is a if there's like an empathy focus, if I remember rightly, then no, because that covers it.
I don't have focuses open up on my rule sheet. That's the only one I've got for observation. Is instincts.
Bear with us, chat. We're going to take a quick look. This whole point about testing is that I can do this properly, and observation. It's senses actually. So instincts I'd say cover it.
So that is 12. I need to roll.
Okay.
Under.
A difficulty one.
Nope.
Oh man. Do you want to succeed at cost here? Maybe in that if you let something slip about kind of who you're with and how you guys are operating, then I'll give you the answer.
That might be good.
Yeah. Okay. What I'm going to do is, as I ask her, I'm going to take a quick look around, as in the general directions that I know the other people went off in, to just see if I can see them. It's that little, almost like the nervous twitch of seeing if I can like see any of the other, like the captain or George or Elsie. Yeah,
do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, bear in mind, so you guys have been talking now for about 2 minutes. I had to do some genuine real-world research here. So this Ferris wheel goes round once every 4 minutes. So you guys have been talking for about 2 minutes. So now you're right at the top of this Ferris wheel. So there is an awkward pause in the conversation as she lights up a cigarette, and you lean over to the window, and you stare down at the ground a couple of places. You actually see where George would have been, and you have a little look around the area, and then you see George just walk back round the corner of a little funfair stall. You look back. Prue, would you remind me where Ward is at this point as well? I think, Susanna, you guys are together, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah, we decided a couple would probably be less, people would be less inclined to bother a couple, and that way we don't have to worry about talking since we can't speak any of the languages.
Yeah, we're sort of milling around and being all like...
Oh, catalog poses.
Yeah,
nice. Cool. So whereabouts are you? So like, I'm imagining from the Ferris wheel's perspective. Well, no. So like, let's kind of map this out maybe. So the Ferris wheel is on the kind of northeastern side of this kind of fairground area, and then the rest of the fairground follows a fairly long, kind of pedestrianised bit down the way, and has stalls probably for about I'm going to know, kind of 200-300 meters. So Ferris wheel really is the thing that dominates this area. And then there's actually a fair amount of parkland either side. So there's nice planted trees, well-kept lawns. And then there's also, I believe, if I have a cheeky look at the map on my campaign.
So here, I think here's what Ward would have done. First, he would have had George go get us some cotton candy. Because I'm sorry, we need cotton candy. And then want to be kind of in, huh?
They don't sell cotton candy here.
That's bullshit, man. I looked it up. It was invented in 1886 or something. Anyway.
Sure.
Anyway.
Spend momentum for cotton candy.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
How much threat would cost for? No, never mind.
I will let you have cotton candy for one threat. The whole party can have cotton candy for one threat.
What do you think, guys?
Worth
Is it worth
it.
it? It's okay.
Yes.
We have so much. What's?
We'll take it. Who gives a shit?
Amazing.
It
Right,
looks
14th threat.
suspicious. We don't cotton candy.
If that's not a clip, I don't know what is, chat. That's great.
And so I want to find a place like in one of the park areas. Near a tree, but not where we're covered since they're in the Ferris wheel. I want to be able to maintain eye contact. But the most important thing is that there is some form of cover within a quick dash, like within like 20 feet. Just in case, you never know, right?
Yeah. What you're going to need to do is if things do hit the fan, you're going to need to you're going to have to kind of create a truth, do a skill test to actually make some of that cover work. A lot of the stalls are obviously they're kind of either canvas or these kind of tarpaulin things in a wooden frame. So they're quite thick, they're soft cover, they're thin material.
Right.
So basically it's going to have to be kind of throwing tables over, jumping behind things. It's kind of making the environment work for you. So it's definitely viable with what you've got around you. You can see like tables, and maybe there's actually like a heavy kind of stone chest table that you get in parks as well, like nearby and stuff. So you can make it work.
Like a little food kiosk or something, like somebody selling some
absolutely.
whatever.
But you're going to need to make it work for you. All right.
Gotcha.
Sweet. Cool. So you can see then, Constance, the couple down at walking away from a cotton candy stall with a couple of little cones of cotton candy with them. And Sophia, you notice that Gisela watches Constance as she does this. And it's a recognizable technique. Gisella's obviously reading Constance at this point.
Mm-hmm. Can I do something? Can I see if what kind of people would carry, how common like this, thinking back, this weapon, this Walther that she has is, and if there's anybody in anything that I would know through my training who'd be carrying this other than maybe like just a civilian.
Sure. I will kind of I'll let you spend a point of momentum, so give me one threat to basically ask the question. It's obtain information spent. I think I'll do it that way.
Is that all right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll spend that.
Cool. So is the question like who would carry this pistol?
Yeah, I'm just worried if there's any sort of like intelligence or any other groups, like if this is a trap, judging by Constance's call.
Yeah. Apologies if it's not entirely Rivet County accurate, but these pistols would have been carried essentially by officers of the Wehrmacht or even the Waffen-SS. If it was someone like a civilian, if you're suspecting Gisela, then it would definitely be an intelligent agent's friend. This kind of pistol.
Good.
Because it's small, it's secrete, but it packs a punch. It's good.
Okay. Sophia will just, since we're at the top, she will just put her book on the table and just say, and what do you expect us to do about it? Certainly you have friends that can find this out for you.
Constance, just remind me of your question that I don't think I've actually answered yet.
I just wanted to see if it looked like she was holding anything back, like if she was trying to either dodge around something to not say something else, or was just kind of purposely skipping ahead to something and trying to subvert that conversation.
You do get a kind of feeling like that about this, but to be honest, what you detect more than anything is fear. She is shaken, and it just adds up from the pantomime that you guys played in the cafe with her to her being cautious now. She's just clearly shaken by these turn of events, and she's not sure who to turn to. She's trying to get as much out of you as you are out of her right now, and it's just an awkward kind of meeting, an awkward moment.
I'm gonna lean forward, not like right across the table, but so I'm a bit closer to her. I just say,
she actually leans back with a cigarette.
Are you expecting trouble? Because I've seen what's in your handbag. And if so, who are you expecting trouble from?
She puts the cigarette out on the table. I don't know. And she looks down at the table.
You've obviously had some trouble before, or you wouldn't be carrying that around in your bag. What's happened?
Are you referring to this? And she reaches into her handbag. Is there anything you want to do before she pulls it out?
I'm gonna almost kind of instinctively lean across towards Sophia, and kind of put my hand kind of out slowly on the table.
Handbag on the table, where you can see.
Is that what you say?
It's been quite the day. Yeah. She's afraid.
Pulls her handbag out, and she's got her hand inside. It's a little bag. And Constance, immediately you recognise that it's the one you've seen in your mirror. She puts it down. She slowly lifts up a letter. And
oh, do we get a handout?
We get a handout.
Ooh.
I'm trying to remember what I called it now. Oh yeah. Can we all see that?
I think Fantasy Grounds has just kind of crashed for me. I'm not sure. It might be.
Up there you go, I see it. Yes.
Oh, there we go. It's loaded.
Oh, Sam made it a bit big. You might have to pass Sam. It doesn't scale either. Pass Sam needs to make smaller handouts.
Okay.
Yes.
There we go.
I will pull it up on my screen as well, just in case, so I can read it for you there. Oh no. All right, so we are going to have to pop this into our Google Drive as well, because otherwise this isn't going to work properly. Can you guys can read it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to read it?
How can I?
I mean, did she hand it to one of us, or?
She lays it out in front of you.
Okay.
Do you guys want me to read it, or?
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, yeah.
My dearest Gisela, please first let me apologise for leaving so abruptly. You must understand that if the circumstances were any different, I would never have felt the need to do so. If I have hurt your feelings, please forgive me. That was never my intention. These last few weeks have proven to be the most difficult of my career. The triumph of deciphering the archive has been tempered by the seemingly endless strange meetings I've had to endure as a result. These have prompted me to set my affairs in order, and I have gone home to think on my future.
There is actually some more. Just a little bit more. It is in the Google Drive if you want to have a look at it.
Oh, okay, because that's all I can see of that.
Yeah,
If you
please,
click your
please
mouse
do.
wheel and push up on Fantasy Grounds, it'll scroll down.
I don't have a mouse wheel.
Also,
I'm on my
on the bottom right hand corner, that's basically like a toggle. So click on it and pull down, and that will scroll down also.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
Thank
wow.
you.
You're welcome.
Should anything happen to me, know that I love you, your ever devoted B.
And as per the actual letter, that's where it ends, and there is that blank space at the bottom.
Do I notice the strange markings on that blank space at the bottom?
If you do, then you do.
I can see them on my screen here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So you have a look at the letter, and you're kind of holding up to the light a little bit. Anything you see on that image, you can see.
Look in the... Does it look like it's written in wax? If I feel it, has it got a waxy texture?
No, it feels like paper.
Okay.
It does give off a slight citrusy fragrance.
I can read one
I'm going to
word.
hand it to you, Sophia.
Yeah.
To the
Can I-
Mexican.
Can I determine like what kind, if there's any sort of like invisible ink or something with this, some sort of form of like passing along a code?
Yeah,
I kind of don't want to do it.
Yeah,
here.
if I was going to say, if people wanted to make a roll, I make this difficulty 1, but with your background, I'm going to make this just 0. You can just succeed at this. So this is classic spy fieldcraft technique stuff. It's kind of amateur, but it's clear what's happened. This is written in lemon juice, essentially. And if you can get it to heat up a bit, maybe near a candle flame or something like that, then you'll be able to actually get the message just that bit more pronounced. It's essentially kind of a watermark. Susie, I clearly should have turned the opacity down a bit more. You guys just nailed it.
I've got 2 separate monitors though. One's got higher contrast for my paintings, so I think I might be cheating
you
the system a
go.
little bit.
I was just suspicious of the big blank space at the bottom of the letter.
I'm really proud you guys found it on your own. I really wanted that to happen. Anyway. I'd be a bit more clever next time. Okay, so back within the scene, you are reading this letter. In fact, what actually happens, because this is written in German, is that you pass it along to Sophia. Sophia, you read it through. And actually, I think for the purposes of the scene, maybe we can say that you have kind of translated it a bit as you read through. So Constance gets an idea of it too. As you read it, Constance, it's clear that Gisela is feeling more uncomfortable and is essentially letting her guard down a little bit more and just kind of staring out of the window as she hears these words that she's read, but in English. When you stop, she says, "There's that particular part that got me. Something about packing up your affairs, you said."
Like he knew.
It's like he knew. Yes. Will you investigate for me? I'm not sure I can.
That's why
I
we're
like
here.
Constance.
What I want to know, though, is you're carrying, I look over at a handbag, that around. Have you had trouble before? Because if we're walking into people that mean you need that, we need to know about it.
Not trouble, no. And in that second, you hear from below as you guys are coming probably actually round towards the bottom of the carousel, screams from the crowd outside. Elsie and Ward, you see the startled look of a small group of a couple of families who are walking down the Strasse, point down towards the river, towards the west-hand side of the city, as you guys are on the southeast side of the city. Striding forth on all fours like some kind of Planet of the Apes style charge, you see what can only be described as these kind of naked, bulbous corpses. There's hands, feet at odd angles, walking on all fours and sixes as they charge forward towards the Ferris wheel. People are startled, rush out of the way. There are screams. There are a couple of Wehrmacht troopers down the Strasse who you can hear shout in German. What is that? Fire! And there are a couple of snap shots in your direction, just whipping over your heads. Not immediately, but you can sense that there've been a couple of shots over. These things are a mess of multitude of heads pouring out of shoulder blades and the abdomen, and one has a kind of head extended out on this elongated neck, and all of these faces are writhing in agony as they charge towards the Ferris wheel. Three of them, which is the sum total of the group, bowl over the attendant for the bottom of the Ferris wheel as the carriage with the girls and Gisela on just starts to move up into the as it moves round. So it's just out of reach for these things, but they are jumping up and trying to get onto it. I want the both of you to roll a... Sorry. I need both of you to roll a will plus resilience test, please, with a difficulty of 2.
Will plus resilience.
Oh,
Nice.
that's not going to be good for me.
No.
Well, let's see how we do.
Do you want to buy any dice with threat?
Is this
I
all
mean,
of
I
us
rolled-
are rolling?
No. So this is Elsie and Ward.
I got a crit,
That's 2 successes. You're okay.
so I'm good.
All right, I need a 9 or lower on 2
I was
Do you
dice.
want to buy any dice with threat?
No, I got my cotton candy.
Okay.
Nice.
2 successes.
Oh,
Guys, these are some unexperienced, unspeakable, weird things. Corpses with odd angles rushing at the Ferris wheel. But seeing as we're in a kind of swept up in a kind of magic, occultist adventure, you guys have been kind of prepared, I guess, for something like this for a while. And you're ready. I'm actually therefore going to give either of you the first turn in terms of, is there anything you want to do? At the moment, they are just about to reach up and try and grasp for the carriage that the girl's having the meeting on. What would one of you like to do?
Ward wants to put the silencer on his pistol and start to move, like look around. Is there some bushes, shrubbery, something to block line of sight from those Wehrmacht troopers? Something like that.
You can dive behind a stall, definitely, because they're a fair way back.
Okay.
You're nearby where you've got stalls and the Ferris wheel.
So he's going to basically be like, let's get over here and cover. And as he's heading over there, he's pulling his silencer out, not looking. You know, he's keeping his eye on the situation. Come on, man. Yeah. So I guess that might be a whole action.
Yeah, I'm going to count the screwing of the silencer on getting into cover. So cover's the kind of minor action just to move up there, but you're just preparing, getting your silencer on just so that you're kind of not going to alert anything like that. Yep. Okay. Unless you want to retain the initiative with a couple of threat, Elsie, I will move on to the creatures.
Oh, just before I do, is there anything sort of like, is there any alcohol nearby? Like any bottles of wine or any spirits nearby?
Elsie,
there'll be some beer. Nice meta. There'll be some beer, but it's in a stand over the other side.
Okay, I don't think beer's that great for Molotov, so I'll let you have the initiative.
Cool. All right. Cool. So one of these things, the first one to get there, it pushes up on its back foot and hand, and pushes up, and with 3 other limbs grasps for the carriage. I'm going to try and make a difficulty 2 roll to try and grasp it as it raises up with a 14 and an 8. Let's just check their little stats over here. This is going to be agility and athletics is a 12, so that is only 1 success. So as it grasps up to the carriage, it doesn't quite make the leap, and I'm actually going to spend 2 threat, 15 down to 13, to then have one of the other guys go as well. I'm going to give it an extra dice for 11, down to 11 threat now, and hopefully I can get 2 successes on this. Ooh, 1 and a 19 and a 19, 2 of the successes I got. So, Sophia Constance, you hear this thud on the side of the carriage, and a hand reaches up, and it looks kind of scabby and warty and bulbous, and then a foot slaps onto the other side and is trying to grip with its toes onto the window. And it's a bit disconcerting right now because that's just, what the hell? Why is there a foot there? I'm not going to get you to roll the will test just now.
How far are we off? Like, how far are we?
So it's actually right next to you. Actually, the way I was thinking, the scene was set up and where the carriage is. So this hand slaps exactly where you are, Constance. I'm imagining that Gisela took the seat right towards the back, and then she's got a spare seat to her right-hand side before the room in the aisle, basically. And then so this hand has slapped, like, if you've ever been like, not like happy slap, but like someone slammed the side of a bus as you're on it.
Yeah.
We're from London. These things happen. It's like this hand just slapped the glass. Not kind of almost knocks you out of your chair as you look, and then as the 3 of you look at this hand thinking, well, someone's like grabbed onto this carriage, the foot goes up on the window too next to Gisela, and she just pushes away from the table. Now it's back over to you guys. Who would like to go next?
I kind of want to grab the gun that's in the handbag on the table and just shoot at it through this window.
Sure. So her table?
Yeah.
Sorry, not her table. Her gun.
A gun.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
have a gun. I don't carry weapons, so I'm just gonna reach in and grab and shoot.
Okay.
This is.
I don't
I've seen
think
some
rules.
stuff, but this is something.
Sure. I don't think rules is written. This is exactly how. I don't think I can actually like do this. I am going to spend though 2 threat to react. Now. You can do 1 reaction around as characters. Everyone has access to this default reaction, which is hit the dirt. Essentially, hit the ground, go prone, try and get some cover. You'll get some armor out of it, basically, and some morale, actually. So kind of temporary kind of courage. But actually, I'm going to do it so that she can. So she sees you go for the gun inside the bag, and she tries to go in first. So we're going to roll off here. So this is going to be quick movements, quick thinking. So something like coordination, agility, something like that.
I'll go for coordination, and
I'm gonna go
can I wager
agility.
survival for this? In that kind of instinct to protect yourself, just grab the nearest thing and.
Okay, sure, I'll take that because then it allows me to use observation because she's seen you go for this and she's like, "Whoa, okay, I'm trying to get in first." Okay, so
I've got to roll under 10.
So I like to make sure that I say what I'm buying first, and actually I'm not going to buy any more dice for this opposed check. So if you wanted to buy some with a bit more threat,
can I buy? I'll just buy 1 dice because this is not my strong point. Constance was not built as a fighting character.
Can I assist Constance and just kind of maybe try and block her, Glazella?
Sure. Okay. So if you do, then essentially that takes up your main action in your turn. But you could still do minor actions, like you could then move, or you could kind of draw a weapon or something, draw your own weapon or something like that, if you wanted to.
Okay, that sounds fine. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
So yeah, I'll still buy dice.
Okay. And you haven't got any momentum yet, have you?
No.
All right. So I'm going back up to 10 threat. Okay, I'm going to roll my 2 and then see what you need to get. No successes from me. So she's been fairly slow on the uptake, and she's just gone in as your hand has gone in.
That is 2 successes for me.
Okay, cool. Well, that's good.
So I have to roll under 10. So
actually, you generate 2 momentum because as an opposed check, she failed it. And I wasn't going to kind of make it a difficulty 1 test anyway. So have 2 momentum for the group. And
Yay.
You grab her gun and draw it out of her bag. And she looks at you stunned for just that split second that you've got to react. What would you like to do next?
Shoot at the thing that's crawling up the side of this cart.
Okay. You don't want to get a look on what it is first at all? I mean, this is a hand and a foot right now. You could be shooting a person.
I could, but also there was a horrible thud, and Constance is kind of aware that weird things exist in the world. So I think she's also really jumpy right now.
Sure. So she's just snapshot, just going to try and go for it.
Yeah, especially after the whole thing in the mansion back in Kent with the weird glass stuff.
Yeah.
Just so it counts as a ranged attack, right? Because it's a gun, so it's coordination and fighting.
That's the one. Handguns as the focus. It's going to have some cover, I think, from the window, but I'm just going to give it 1 cover, so it's going to have a bit of armor. Ignoring any stress, or just 1 stress from that, any roll. But difficulty, 2.
Difficulty 2. Do you guys mind if I buy some more dice? Cool.
Go for it.
I'll give it to you in threat sound so that the others have got some momentum. So if you take 3 threat, I will roll 4 dice.
If you like, no worries. Back up to 13.
Let's see what happens. So I've got a roll under 10. 1, 2, 3. 3 successes.
Cool. So 1 momentum.
Yeah.
Is that right? Callum's got in chat that we got 4 momentum, and you've got your resource from the disguise kit. I'm not sure that's right though.
I've tracked 3 on here. That's what I've got so far, but I could have missed something somewhere.
Well,
So
we
you
got 2
guys-
from. I got 2 from my. Oh no, 1. Sorry. You're right. Not 4.
Yeah.
3.
Cool.
Total.
No worries. So 3 momentum, and then if you can roll for me your.
I don't have
stress.
stats for the gun.
Oh, lucky I do. Bear with me.
Is it 3?
It is going to be. Has she got insight? Oh, she's got close. Yeah, so it's going to be 3. Although, what's your insight?
My insight is 9, so I get 1 bonus challenge dice, I think.
Okay, I think that is base 2 challenge dice, and then 3 is the improvement.
Right. Okay.
Let me just check the. I think it's in the action chapter that is. So essentially, while I'm trying to find it for chat, so in this, some of your abilities can also augment how much stress you inflict on your attacks. So if you have quite a high insight, then you're going to do more damage. Well, you're going to inflict more stress using your ranged attacks, because you can judge and you can pick out the right spot to hit the target with. So with a 9, Constance gets a +1, but like a bonus challenge dice for her stress roll. And the weapon is base 2 challenge dice, so that goes up to 3 for you.
Cool.
Do you want to buy any more?
It's 3 challenge dice at the minute, right, in total?
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to let you spend any of her ammo for a salvo attack, because that could give you vicious as a weapon effect. So vicious means that for every effect you would add 1 additional stress onto the stress roll.
No, I think it'll be fine. It's just a snapshot reaction. She's probably not putting too much into this. It's just there's a thing, shoot it.
Sure. Yes, that's cool.
3 challenge dice in total. Oh.
Keep going. All right, so
4?
Yeah, 4 total. All right,
Cool.
so let me just make a note of. Cool. He's got a bit of innate armor and the glass there. That only inflicts 1 full stress.
Ooh.
These guys are pretty snacky, so we'll see. So these guys are actually from the monster donation from last week. So you have chat to thank for this.
Thanks, chat.
Woo. All right, so that was your go, and then I believe, unless you want to retain the initiative, it is back over to the final weird zombie thing.
It's up to you guys if anyone has something they really want to do.
Shauna, did you want to jump in?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll my turn. I'll just kind of flip open my book and just kind of like take a shot at it following Constance's lead.
Yeah. Do you guys want to mark off a couple of momentum then, or give me a couple of threat to retain the initiative? We can do that.
Go ahead and use a
Do you
momentum.
guys want to...
Yeah,
Use
you
2
can use
momentum?
momentum.
Okay.
Cool. So yeah. So sorry, just remind me again. So that was flipping around the table. Shauna? Just remind me of the action again.
Just flipping open my book and taking my gun out.
Nice. Okay, well that's a minor action, so you're good to crack on with something more.
Yep, shoot at it.
Cool.
Your Constance
All right.
knows what she's talking about.
The hand or the foot?
Just the hand. I think instinctually go for the hand.
Cool. Okay.
And that's coordination and fighting. Is that right?
It is. Yeah. Handgun.
Okay.
Yeah, handgun's focus, and it's difficulty 2.
Oh. Okay. Let's see. Just take a shot. Oop. Shit. Oh, sorry. That's wrong.
There's
dice.
D12s. That's all right.
Yep. They're right there. Ooh. 1 success.
All right. Did you want to spend any fortune to re-roll?
Sure. Yes. Yes, I would.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So that leaves me at 1. I think I had some last time. Or does fortune reset after that last session?
Now, I thought it did. Yes. So I think
Okay,
let's play
so I'm
with
at 2
that,
still.
and then let's clarify. Because I think if the GM's tracking threat over the course of the adventure, maybe the fortune points do the same, and you track them along the adventure. Because then, as we reach some milestones in it, we get some more, and do cool stuff. You'll get some more, that kind of thing. But for now,
Okay.
let's reset to where we were, because that's what I think we've got at the moment.
Okay. And then just re-roll the 1?
Yeah, you get to choose how many of those you re-roll.
1 of them.
Cool.
All right.
Just roll me 1 2 20.
Oh boy, that's not even. All right, so I don't.
Oh, and you can only do it once, I'm afraid, on this roll. Okay, so
Yeah.
you shoot the glass a couple of times, and the bullets spray across. From these 2 pistol shots, these 2 women who have just drawn and shot at the glass. The carriage is just frantic. The family who are in the middle table, who are by you, have now suddenly all got up from their seats. The dad has grabbed one of his little girls, and just the first one he can, and is just holding her tightly. The other one's jumped under the table and is crawling away as they all back off. The couple is already in the corner, and the guy, you can see, is kind of already looking for like an escape, like a fire exit or some kind of escape ladder or something. Okay. The third weird zombie thing is going to try and jump up as well. So back on 13 threat, I'm going to spend 1 to add a dice to the test. So I'm rolling 3, and we're going to have a go again. Nice. With 3 successes, I am going to jump up. So that jumps, and there's another thud at the other end of the carriage, but on the same side as the hand and leg. And then I'm going to spend that remaining kind of little like bit of momentum that I got for actually to do another minor action, which is essentially to then start crawling up the carriage. And that you see this thing stood now from where you are, the perspective. You see the thud. You look round just as you're moving your weapons over. You see this thing scuttle up the side of the carriage. Its kind of face is twisting, contorting in pain at you as it passes by. I need the both of you to make me a will plus resilience test with a difficulty of 2.
Ugh. Oh no.
13.
Oh no.
You got any
Fortune?
fate points? Yeah, fortune points. Not fate points.
It's 1 success.
You need 2.
Can I spend a fortune to re-roll?
Yeah, Shauna, you've already spent a fortune point this scene, so
Can I choose just to re-roll one of them?
yeah, of course.
Exactly.
You choose however many you want to reroll from your dice pool.
I'll keep the 2 then. And I will take the 8. that I've just
Is that
rolled.
2 successes for you?
That's 2 successes.
Okay, so you have fully witnessed this thing now, and as you're a little bit more familiar with some of the kind of more eldritchy occult stuff, it doesn't shock you as much as it shocks Sophia. I am going to then roll some challenge dice. So Shauna, if you... I'm going to inflict 1, 2, 3, 4 mental stress.
Okay.
Onto you. So just add them to your stress track, because we're because we're at the we're in like a new combat, new scene, and all that kind of stuff. Stress is all gone, and like I think we probably covered like in the week across desks having a chat. But I think we were like, so you stayed at the hotel enough to kind of rest up a bit, chill with Tetley, and remove your fatigue. So that's cool. But yeah, so if you can add 4 stress to Sophia's track for me, that's not the threshold to get an injury yet. So you're okay, but you are shocked and startled by whatever this thing is scurrying up the carriage. Okay. So that's all of my peeps. Who is left? Oh, okay. We've got George and Elsie. Who wants to go next?
Well, Elsie won't really do much except draw the pistol from her handbag and wait for the cap to give the order to fire, because they don't want to draw attention to our hiding space and let people know I've got a British gun.
Tetley is stood by your side, growling under his breath. And just so you're aware as a player, He's not going to do really anything except he can assist you on some stuff if he's nearby. But what you can also do is command him to do stuff. So you take up your major action by telling him to do something for you.
Cool.
And he'll move as far as he can to do that, and he'll make all that kind of stuff. So if you're like, hit that guy way over there, then he's got to make his rush action and actually do some sprinting before he can actually get there. But if he can do a minor action just to move one zone and bite the guy, then we're all cool, so that's very basically how that works. And we need to add that to one of our little docs as well, so that you've got that. So you're kind of holding your action essentially, waiting for the
basically waiting for the order. Yeah,
that's cool. George, it's up to you then. So you are in a position where you've kind of been a bit disconnected from the group as you've returned and walked down the Strasse, just say 100 meters from the kind of contact point at the bottom of the Ferris wheel. You've seen these things, like these almost look like kind of weird naked guys on all fours rush towards these carriages, and now there's a couple of them hanging off it and another one and kind of on the ground grasping up. They kind of just look like maybe weird big attack dogs from where you are, but there's something really odd about them. What would you like to do?
What I'd like to do, I'd like to grab, maybe there's a big sledgehammer, this classic fair attraction where you hit the thing with the hammer, it goes up. So I'm gonna take the sledgehammer from whoever was holding him with it, and run towards the nearest creature and hit it on the back with the sledgehammer. All right,
cool. I'll let you blag the hammer because I like it. It's going to take you. This is your major action to kind of basically sprint up to these guys. A little bit of housekeeping. I did put in a cheat sheet in PDF on our Google Drive thing, so you guys have got some you can have a look at actions and stuff. And what you can do. So I'm just going to check up on Rush. So if you can make an agility and athletics test for me, difficulty 1. And I'm not going to. There's no situation truths really that come into play where it's like going to increase the difficulty or decrease it. So,
well, been hit before. I don't know. All my war started early. I'm used to react quite fast to stuff.
Sure. I mean, it's still a good sprint to this if you want to get there fast.
Okay.
So,
sure.
And then essentially, Callum, as well, if you want, what you can do is you can rush there. That's your major action. If you want to spend a fortune point for this combat, check if fortune points you can spend it once per round or once per the whole scene. It is once per scene. I wondered if it was different in combat.
Yeah, I had this earlier when I was playing. Yeah.
Okay, right. So if you want to spend your fortune for this combat, then you can spend one to take a second major action, and you can hit one of them.
Okay, let's go.
So we'll handle that when it gets there. But let's head on. So if you can make for me, so we're rolling your base 2d20. If you want to buy any more, let me know. This is just difficulty 1, agility and athletics.
So agility and athletics, that will be 9, which is not great. Let's play. No momentum, nothing. Just 9. 9 and a 3, 2 successes.
There we go. You've got a point of momentum. So you rush up. And it's basically, in terms of distance, we've got these descriptive terms that help us if we're doing theatre of the mind stuff, but there is also effectively like zones on a kind of map if we're doing it that way. But basically these guys are essentially a long way away for you rather than medium away. So they're long. So if you've moved a couple of zones from where you are to long, and you're at the base of the carriage now, and you've got this weird ass like postural lump of flesh, kind of like crabby, spidery, big hump, and all these faces staring at you, and you can it's almost like you can hear them screaming in agony at you. I need you to make me that will plus resilience test, difficulty 2.
Will plus resilience test. Sorry to come back each time with this one, but could my war started early? I've seen corpses and dismantled bodies. Could that help?
Yep, you can totally do that, man. That is perfect. Difficulty 1.
Oh. Okay, let's go. Yep. So
I think you needed that, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. 1 success. You're okay. Okay. These things are hideous, and it's almost like someone has stitched these things together. But there are no sewing marks, no stitches anywhere. But there's just heads over its kind of weird contorted back, and there's legs and arms where there shouldn't be, and there's too many of them. It's almost like someone's bundled a couple of people together and they've just kind of meshed into this weird fleshy mess. Did you want to
life?
Yeah. Did you want to spend a fortune point here to attack one right now, or did you want to wait it out?
Yeah, I will use 1 fortune point. Oops.
Okay.
So that was my last. Actually, can it work both ways? So what's the difficulty to it, that thing?
So the difficulty here is 1 because it's a normal melee attack.
Okay, so that would be brawn, I guess.
It's actually agility, I think.
Okay.
Let's double check exactly.
Better for me. And fighting.
That's attributes and skills. Yeah, melee is an agility and fighting test. Opposed by the target's own agility and fighting, also difficulty 1. So you are looking for at least 1 success here in order to actually succeed. I am going to spend 1 threat to add a 3rd dice to my pool. So now if you wanted to add any dice, now you add. It just helps that we don't go tit for tat. So now I've done my thing. I've told you I've got 1 more dice than I normally do, so I'm rolling 3. So if you want to buy any, let me know.
Well, I'd like to buy 1 if it's okay with the group, with 1 momentum, or is it tit for tat for you? So that would 3 dice. I mean, I only have 9 in fighting plus in total.
Cool.
So okay, 1 momentum.
Hand focus is going to come in here if you have it at all.
Nope. Sadly, no.
All
my
right.
thing. Okay.
No worries. Let's do it. Oh, natural 1.
2 successes on my side.
Yeah. And I keep losing my window with these guys in. Right, so this thing, hand to hand, team fighting is 14. So I got 3 successes, and you got 2 there?
2, yeah.
Cool. All right. So I have defended, and I'm going to save that point into my threat pool. So because you got 1 more success than it needed, so I'm going to put it back up to 12 there. But then I believe there we don't, unlike Star Trek, I don't just then like roll damage on you or anything. So cool. So that is fine. So you come down on it with this sledgehammer, and with some unnatural strength, a hand and a leg from the middle part just stops the actual head of the mallet, and the hand reaches out and grabs it. Do you know what? Actually, because we've got some of these cheeky momentum spends, I'm actually going to do 1 here. I'm going to spend 2 out of that, so I'm down to 10 threat. To disarm you. So it wrenches the mallet out of your hands and drops it down by its side. So it's within reach of you. You can still try and grab it with a minor action again next turn, but it has wrenched it out of your hands. This thing is like unnaturally strong at this point too. All right. Essentially, unless Captain, you want to, as a cheeky little kind of free action thing, want to just give an order to shoot to Elsie, then I will go to the top of the round and I will get a first turn.
How far away are we from the Ferris wheel? What's the range? Is it medium or long? Because I wanted to be kind of close to it. Medium?
Yeah. I think you guys positioned yourself a little, like, kind of closer to the Ferris wheel than further away, but still within, because you wanted to avoid the soldiers, not the Ferris wheel and the stuff.
Right. And where we are so far, nobody has seen us.
No, people are running in the opposite freaking direction, and you have got a clear line of sight. And I'm imagining just like a little kind of a little thin but like wrought iron fence just between you and the Ferris wheel ground itself. But there's a nice kept lawn, and then it's probably only about 30, 40 feet away from the very base of it and where you would actually get on.
Okay, cool. Captain Ward, he kind of glances over at Elsie and he's like, "How good are you with that thing?"
Pretty good. I'm a capable
and he
shot.
just kind of he gives the nod.
All right. I'm gonna shoot my gun.
All right,
Okay.
you've got one that's managed to climb onto the carriage, and you can see, and you guys have seen a couple of shots smash out from the window that's inside. You can also see another one at the other end of the carriage, but still on the same side within your line of sight, and that is currently scuttling its way up and has just made its way onto the top, onto the roof, just onto the ledge. So you've still got line of sight on that, and you've got George and one almost being smacked by a mallet and then wrenching it out of his arms. So essentially, because George is there, if you target the creature next to him, I'm going to increase the complication range to a 19 and a 20. If you hit a complication, you hit George. Otherwise, you've got the line of sight on the same other.
Yeah, Ward's gonna say roof.
Yeah, that was the one I was going to go for because I didn't want to shoot the Price sisters and I didn't want to shoot George, so I'm going to go for the other one.
That's cool. All right, let's do it.
Okay, so I have a Browning high-power pistol. Oop, that's the wrong window. So, do I roll to attack first?
Yes. So this is going to be a coordination and fighting test.
Coordination.
This is difficulty 2. You're going to be good at this, I think, because you got the coordination for the engineering.
I got like
stuff.
11 coordination. So it's going to be pretty
There
good.
you go.
So let's see, 2. That's 2 fails.
No.
But I'm going to use a fortune point because I haven't used this this scene to re-roll those.
Cool. All right. Let's do it.
Come on, dice.
You got one fighting, or there we go. Oh my days.
Why is this my life?
I finally got rid of it.
You transferred it to someone else.
Yeah.
The ritual worked. I mean, that sucks. That's just terrible.
It's so
I know your
bad. I
pain.
know.
Did you want to buy off that complication, Susie?
Yeah,
With 2 threat.
I do.
What are we
You want
at?
anything bad to happen right now? We're at 10 at the moment, so we're kind of.
Oh
average.
yeah, totally. This is
See, they
average
get it.
threat.
Just keep throwing it at me. It's fine. These players award it to her in her Tuesday game. It's great.
Yeah, I'm doing Star Trek, and every time I do a funny acting and pretending to be Kirk, I just get people going, "Take a point of threat." I'm like, that's not how this works. I'm like, let's have it. That was great. I'm like, sure, fine.
I guess they're mad. I don't know.
It's true. That was nice. That was nice.
Sorry.
I want a GI played by William Shatner in that campaign now.
I really don't. I
I could change Ward to basically Kirk.
Please
Please
don't.
don't.
I don't want this.
Elsie,
Forever.
fire! No,
Do not want so bad. All right. So your couple of gunshots. No, Pruitt, no.
Yeah, that's on my wall.
Nice.
Anyway,
Cool.
Your 2 shots whish past it as it clambers onto the roof, just just getting over the corner, over the precipice. Of
Did
that.
it? Did it notice?
Well, I guess one of the faces could have noticed. Yeah, you think?
Okay.
Because it has
No.
lots of faces.
Oh, it's like Melzagard
Oh,
at the
no.
end of One Punch Man.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to go to that creature now at the top of the round, and it goes from the top on the roof of this carriage. It's got like no kind of false ceiling or insulation. You just see this curved kind of metallic covering for the ceiling, just like a kind of like you'd see from the top of a train carriage, just inverted. And you can see and hear thuds and smashes as these imprints start denting the roof of the carriage. I am going to try and create a truce now with getting a hole in the carriage. So this is difficulty 2. This is going to be brawn, I'm going to say, and fighting. Yeah. I'm going to roll 4 dice, take me down to 9 threat, and it's going to try and wrench this roof off of this carriage. Wow, with that and a decent brawn, I think I'm going to be good.
Pride goes
That
before the
is
fall.
3 successes. So this metal like carriage, you can see the dents just hammering down on it. 1, 2, 3, and then a foot comes through. And as it pulls away, it scratches and blood sprays onto the family beneath. And then the metal wrenches up with it. And through that comes this head on the neck, just through this elongated neck, as it silently screams into the room, and its other arms and feet pull away at this roof. With that point of threat, I'm going to say that the guy who was looking for like a kind of ladder or fire escape or something finds one behind him and cracks that bad boy open. So now there is a gaping door-shaped hole in the other end of the carriage, and this carousel is only going up. Who wants to go next?
Captain. Oh, sorry.
No,
Go on,
if
Pre.
you
You've been
wanna go-
waiting for weeks, man. And you
I know, that's why I'm
somebody.
like, I just want to
Shoot
Yeah.
the thing.
Do it.
So yeah, Captain Ward like pops up on one hand, one knee, and do I still have a shot on this thing that just ripped the roof open? Center body
No,
mass,
not from
maybe?
here, man. No. It's. Do you know what? I can say yes, you have, but the way that the cover is, I'm gonna give it like 2 points of cover. So that cover means that it doesn't raise difficulty or anything, but that cover essentially will negate some of the stress that you're going to inflict on it.
Right. Okay, but I can move as a minor action, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can move.
Could I move into a little bit better to take that cover away and still shoot?
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to be moving though, much more into the kind of main open Strasse if you do that.
I'm going to take that chance.
Cool. Okay, because you need to back off a bit from the actual Ferris wheel to be able to get the shot on it as well.
Okay, so can I move, then take a quick aim action as another minor action?
If you spend a momentum, you can.
How many momentum do we have? Yeah,
We got
I'll do
2.
that. I'll
Do
do
it.
that because I want to make an aim action because that I can re-roll my stuff because of one of my sharpshooter.
Awesome. So I got some news for you. So this is now at long range, and I believe it's your pistol's a close range weapon.
So it's +2 to the difficulty.
+2 difficulty, so 4 difficulty, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. I took an aim action.
Mm-hmm.
So because of my sharpshooter, my first die cost 0.
Nice.
And I gain the piercing quality, which adds 1 to exercise. I gain the piercing quality. Also, because it's an accurate weapon, I can re-roll, right?
Yep.
So I'm already at 3 die.
So that accurate quality means that because you aimed, you can re-roll any number of
those dice.
D20s.
Yeah.
For free.
Okay, my coordination is 10, my fighting is 5, and I have a focus in handguns, so that means I crit 5 or below.
Yes, it does,
right?
sir.
Okay, cool. So I'm at 3 dice. I'm going to go ahead and give you 2 threat for a second die, or does that, since I'm actually buying it, since my first bought die is 0.
Okay,
so
you're rolling 3
2?
dice because, yeah, that's it. So you're rolling 3 dice already because the first one's free, essentially, and then the next one's going to cost you the 2. So that's 2 threat, or I believe there was 1 final momentum point in the pool.
I'm going to leave that.
Okay, cool.
So I'm rolling 4 dice. I like that. Let's see what happens. Why didn't you roll? Ugh. What's going on here, guys? There we go. Alrighty. So 15 or below. Hang on. So that's 4 successes. Since I can, I'm going to go ahead and re-roll 2 of those.
Yeah, go ahead. 14 and 16, yeah. Re-roll the 1, man.
What?
No, it's fine. I said re-roll the 1.
No. We're good. We're good with that. So that's 2, 4, 6, 7 successes.
That is 7 successes, sir. So that is 3 momentum on top of what you needed.
There you go.
There we go. All right.
So my pistol is 4. Yes, is a stress of 4. So I'm gonna roll 4d6. Why didn't
Before you do, bear in mind you could buy up for some bonus challenge dice here with the 3 momentum and get more stress on your attack.
Oh, I think I should. What do y'all think, guys? Huh? So how much does is the same price, right?
1 for 1, up to a maximum of 3 more challenge dice. So you can spend up to 3. So if you spend all of them now, that's the most you can, and you've got what's that now? 7 challenge dice you'd be rolling.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and make this a salvo because fuck it, why not?
Okay. So you're unleashing a whole clip into this thing.
Yeah. Because I mean, I get a +1 stress for if I roll effects on this. So I'm gonna buy 2 extra dice, so I'll be rolling 6. And let's see what happens. Well, here's 5. Okay, so that is 2 stress, 3, 4, 5, 5 stress, and 3 effects. So that's 8 stress.
Yeah, for the vicious, and you've got the sharpshooter gives you that piercing quality as well. You are practically going to ignore this guy's armor. So yeah, because you absolutely are. So the total there you said was how many stress?
8.
8. Jeez, right. That is enough to give it an injury. Maths. There we go. You unload the whole clip into this thing. Bullets just impact, splatter all over its body. You get a couple in eyes. There's one in the mouth of one of the faces, and you can see this thing. It doesn't scream or kind of react in a normal way. But as it's ripping, you can see the bullets are causing some damage, and it is starting to bleed. And for those of you inside the carriage, more blood and splatter as you hear these gunshots from down below splats down onto the floor and unfortunately onto the victims that are with you in this carriage.
Actually, they don't hear the gunshots.
No, they don't. Silencer. I forgot.
I mean, it's still like a thunk, 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 but you know.
Yeah.
They probably.
Well, do you want to go movie silencer or do you want to go like semi-realistic silencer?
Oh no, I mean, I know it makes noise. I mean.
Yeah. No, I like it. It's that little. Because sometimes you've got to be entirely silent in a roleplay game for some reason.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm cool with movie magic. So yeah, so I guess the ladies in the carriage, you just see more blood splat down from this thing, but it's a bit too much to have just been the rip on the foot that opened this carriage up like a can opener. I believe you've still got a momentum because you didn't spend one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. These
Want
nodding.
to put that back? Yeah.
Nice. So that means, did you want to retain the initiative in any way and let one of you guys go next again?
I kind of think so.
Yeah, mess it up.
I think somebody in the carriage should probably go. What do you
Cool.
think?
Thing
Alright.
still
Yeah, go.
is that thing still moving?
It's still-
Or
Yeah,
Still
still
there?
wrenching at the roof.
I mean, I can do some creepy magic stuff and see what that does. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
I'll leave the momentum in the thing, and I'll give you some threats, Sam.
All right, so I'm back up to 13.
Fight the occult with the occult, right?
Sure. This can only go well.
I'll use my minor action to do the whole prepare thing that I have to do so I can cast a spell.
Mm-hmm.
And I will cast Gaze at the Multiverse.
All right.
And if everyone's okay, I'm going to spend some threat here because I can do some interesting stuff with momentum, but we don't have it. So I will give you 3 threat so I can roll 4 dice.
Okay.
So this is difficulty 3.
Mm-hmm.
So see how this goes.
The complications here are going to be affecting the other people too.
Oh yeah.
This is your mind
my-
melty stuff, right?
This is I came up with the description for how this all goes down in my own head.
Nice.
But,
All right. I'm ready to
Will
hear
and
it.
Will and Academia, so it's anything under 14. So it's 3 of those, and I have an occultism focus, but none of those are under that. But I do make enough to succeed.
Awesome. How does it go down?
So anyone in the carriage will see I kind of pull my mantle, which is a piece of parchment with a sigil drawn in red ink. And I hold that in my hand and close my eyes for a second. And when I open them, they're just black. Anyone that this attack affects, like those weird creatures or like the Nazis in that cafe, see what I saw when I gazed into the multiverse through my scrying mirror, which is how I learnt the spell. And it's just endless chaos and harsh realities. It's just everything that would drive you insane, and that's what they see.
Witnessing and understanding the events of a supernova falling through the event horizon of a black hole, and finding an ancient old one inside, and crazy stuff like that. Awesome.
After you get spaghettified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So
It's challenge dice time. Wasn't this an area thing too? Am I remembering right?
it's all enemies within close range. I think it is just that one thing. I don't think
Okay,
anyone
yeah.
else is in close
give you that.
range. Yeah, it's so I'm rolling a total of 9 dice. And it says a momentum thing. So for 2 momentum, I can give it the drain effect, or I can give it for 2 momentum, I can give it the vicious effect. So can I give you 2 threat to give it the vicious effect?
Yep. Every effect you roll is going to be another
Cool.
stress.
Fingers crossed for effects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There aren't any effects, but it's 7 points of stress.
All right.
Ooh.
And then I have to pay the cost.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, I do.
So just before, as you're working that out for me, because then just roll for me as I chat.
Cool.
So
I'm
Sophia,
going to
you
give you 2 threat to half the cost because of my price to pay talent. So
okay? No worries. Oh, that's the wrong way, Sam. Oh, 14 now. So Sophia, you see Constance pull out this piece of paper with the sigil on, and she blinks very slowly. Her eyes open back up, and they are entirely black.
Okay.
You watch as, for the first time, this creature lets out this gargled scream across its entire body. And it's almost as if this like crazy weird like gas escapes out of every orifice that's on this body, this thing, and it's these kind of like almost like spores slowly descend into the carriage. I am going to spend a 3 threat there, basically, now that this stuff, this kind of gaseous matter, is in the environment of the carriage.
Oh, it's real
You
bad
guys,
inside the carriage.
unless you hold your breath, are going to be breathing this. The creature itself falls and lands on the woman who was with the man who opened the fire escape. As it thuds down, he turns, screams "Sarah!" and goes down to just, and he just doesn't know what to do, and he's trying to just kind of move this thing, but it's just an awful, hideous, fleshy mess. And then underneath the body that has just fallen, another arm in an awkward angle sprouts out, another leg from underneath, and rigid and throbbing, this thing picks back up again, and the dress that the woman is wearing is ripped in several places, but her body has melded with the crazy, weird creature.
Oh no.
And I spend 2 threat
Oh,
to introduce another one.
And this one's on the ground?
This one is on the ground, not 10 feet away from you. So that was, did you figure out the cost? All right, sweet. That wasn't too much. Well done. So, for those at home, Constance, whenever you cast magic, we do this thing where you actually have to pay the cost. So you're going to take some mental stress when you do that. Thankfully, Constance only rolled 1 point, basically. So you're all good. It's an effect, though, so you get fatigue?
It's a drain. Yeah, it's a drain effect.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
my stress is reduced by 1, and it's piercing too. But I don't have any armor, so
No courage for me. Sweet. Okay, because this is kind of a bit sound. All right. So yeah, this thing has essentially got back up, and it is back over to me. So I am going to give it a turn. It rushes up towards you, Constance, as I think you're kind of in the main thrust of you're in the main kind of position here, the salient position for the group, with your attack. So it is going to rush at you and basically try and reach out and grasp and pin you down. This is going to be an agility and fighting test for each of us. Difficulty is going to be 1.
Oof.
And I am going to roll 1 more dice with down to threat 8.
can I give
you
you some
like-
threat for this? Because this is not her strong point. You guys okay with that?
Yes, do it.
I'll give you.
Okay.
I'll give you three threats, so I can roll 4 dice.
Yeah, if you want. Back up to 11. All right, you all set? I'm going to roll.
Go for it.
Okay, not bad.
So it is agility. Sorry, agility and fighting.
Fighting, yeah.
1 success.
I got 2. So it's not a lot of physical stress, although I got a momentum. I'll just add a challenge dice. That's my roll. So for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no effects. That's 5 physical stress. So that is an injury unless you've got any armor.
No.
No? Well,
No,
all right
I
then.
don't think
So that is an injury. So that's 1 injury out of 3. You guys can take 3 injuries. They can be a combination, any combination of physical or mental injuries. If you go down with more mental injuries than physical, so you're defeated when you get 3 injuries. If you get 2 mental, 1 physical, then you're down, kind of catatonic, not able to act, you're incapacitated, that kind of thing. If, however, you take 2 physical and 1 mental injury, then you are dying and need medical attention immediately. All right. That was my go. I'm going to hand it back over to you guys. Who wants to go next? Schon, I can see you.
What's the status of the Wehrmacht soldier who were around the place?
They are rushing towards the scene, but they're still basically at extreme range at the moment. Shauna, did you want to go next?
I think you're muted, Sean.
Yeah, I think you're muted.
Oh yes, Sophia
go.
just kind of like there we go. Oh, I realized I was muted, but that's
all right.
It's a real bad scene in this thing. She's covered in blood. She kind of like slammed against the door because this terrifying thing. So she's just kind of like fear smiling, just kind of shaking her gun and just gonna unload on this creature that's basically trying to like attack her sister.
Cool. Yeah.
And I'm gonna kind of minor action to aim.
Yep.
And then attack it.
As this is your sister, I'm going to give you difficulty decrease.
Okay.
So it's not going to be difficulty 2. This is going to be difficulty 1.
Okay.
You've trained a bit for this, and the stakes are high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can. So just the usual, and coordination and fighting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Did you want to buy any dice before? Oh, you rolled. Okay. No, that's okay. That's a success. So you've passed.
Okay.
I presume.
Sounds
As
good.
a 7, I presume that your coordination is at least a 7.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. So you have succeeded. Is the 14 a success too?
The 14 is not success, but I am really afraid of a crit in this situation. So I'm gonna kind of just take the success where I have it.
Yeah, fair. No worries. So if you roll the stress rating for me of the pistol.
Okay.
Did you want to give me any threat to add some challenge dice?
You know what? Since it's my sister, yeah, just one. Let's get. I need this thing off her.
No worries.
So it's 3 challenge dice plus my. Is it insight gives me a bonus of 2 extra, so is that 6?
Yeah.
Okay. 6 and it's a D6, right?
Yeah. We're looking for
Alright.
1s, 2s, 5s, and 6s.
And then 1 more.
Cool. So that's 2, 3, 4. And what are the any effects? Any damage effects for the gun itself?
No. It's just
No?
it's just a pistol concealed.
So you were saying that you wanted to like unleash on
just unload, like this is panic.
Unload on this thing. So
Yeah.
if all your weapons come with 3 ammo, if you wanted to spend one of those points of ammo, then you could treat those effects, that 5 and that 6, as 2 stress each instead of 1.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So you like Ward, you have unloaded into this thing, and that its postural flesh starts ripping up from its body as bullets penetrate through into its kind of mangled body for 6 stress. We're going to take it down to 4 for the armor. All right. Not quite enough for an injury, but you have inflicted some stress on it. So you can see it shuddering as the bullet impacts, but none of the faces, and it kind of doesn't barely register, but it's clearly like devoted to almost a mindless cause of just trying to kind of get through to you guys.
Okay.
All right. Did you want to retain the initiative, guys?
What's our threat level right now? 12?
Yeah, what is our...
Yeah.
What's our momentum like? 2 points? Yeah, no.
One.
One.
Momentum.
1 point. Thanks, V.
1 point.
I'm not keeping track. I'm keeping track of my threat.
It might be good. These things. seem
Yeah,
bad.
I think we need to.
I mean, George is currently like face to face with one, so it might be good that he gets his hitting first before he
Yeah.
gets like chomped. You know?
Yeah, we should retain it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, I have 2
Right.
ammo on thing. Put that on.
Cool. So an opposed test for it to defend, and this is going to be difficulty 1 for both of us. I am going to buy a die, so I'm rolling 3 d20s, and this is agility plus hand-to-hand fighting.
Okay. So I'm just gonna roll straight. I think we're out of momentum. I'm out of. Or I'm gonna give you a threat to have an extra dice.
Yeah, sure, man. No worries.
Okay, so that will be 3 dice. So agility plus fight. That's impressive 9.
Oh, a crit though, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god, complication. Oh, man.
Oh, no.
So I guess I dive to grab. I use a minor to get the sledgehammer back.
Yep, no problem.
So I dive on my knees and in one move I turn on myself, swinging with all my strength that sledgehammer in the mass of that weird creature.
Yeah, I'll give you the success because of the complication. We drew, but I'll give you the success. So if you want to roll the stress for me. Oh man, stress rating of a sledgehammer. I'm gonna say 3. It's two-handed and they're pretty hefty.
Okay, there you go.
Have you got brawn of 9 or above?
No.
No. All right, so roll those 3. So that's 1 stress. So we've got 1. You smack into the side of it as you have picked up the hammer. You've just done a really quick swing, and actually you thump it into the flesh, and you don't seem to have made much of an impact. It seems more kind of rubbery and like thicker, more robust than your kind of like, you know, normal run-of-the-mill people. It's gone a bit weird. But since you've retained the initiative, back over to me. I'm then going to make a... actually, no. I am going to do a bit of a runner and essentially try and... it's going to... From where you were, it's going to use the momentum of that swing. It's going to move round, scuttle round to the other carriage that's coming nearby. So this, I think, is the carriage... next to your carriage that you're in, guys. It's a fair impressive leap to get over it, but it's going to try and clamber up onto this next carriage. So just a quick difficulty 1, buying a die. Get up there. Oh man. All right. Do you okay, Callum, do you want to introduce a complication here to make its life difficult?
Yeah, since it's got a number of members protruding from its mass, I think it would make sense that it's gonna stuck itself in one of the many cables which hold the Ferris wheel in place.
Okay. Nice.
So it's gonna be... Maybe
it's overshot the carriage and like mangled up in the cabling. So like essentially kind of like grappled in a way, I guess, and stuck in where it is. Oh, you went all weird and crackly for me there for a second. All right, yeah, it's all mangled up. So that was a no. It's back over to you guys. What's going next?
I think it's me, right? I'm the only one who's not gone? Okay.
I trust you. Yeah, I think so.
So there's no longer one in melee with George, right? Or is that?
That's
that
the one
still in
that's
melee with George?
mangled now, and
That's
it's
the one
like
that's mangled.
yeah, it's like in some of the cabling of the other carriage. That's the one kind of the one that's next on the track for the actual Ferris wheel. And then the
Do
next
I
one
have-
up is the girls.
Do I have a clear shot on any of the creatures?
You have a clear shot on that one. The one on the roof has dropped down. So the other one that still hasn't made it through the glass yet on the actual side of the carriage, you've definitely got a good shot on there.
Okay, right. Not to be outdone by the American. After saying she was a good shot and then missing, I'm going to use a minor action to aim.
Nice.
Take a deep breath. Think of King and Country and fire once more.
Nice. As he's reloading.
Yep.
It's beautifully American. He's just loading his entire clip at this thing, and you're like, just need one shot, just gotta make it count.
Just one.
Just
no
one.
sense of this bloody drama. Just one. Okay, and because I aimed, I get to re-roll one, right?
Yep.
So I'll re-roll that 18.
Yeah, go on. I'll give you a difficulty 2 shot as well.
Oh, well, never mind. Those were
man.
success.
It just clips by, just going wide. If you had been on the firing range today, that would have got into the target that you're aiming for. But you've got moving targets, you've got this mess, this horror in front of you, so it's not ideal conditions.
I know how to shoot people. I don't know how to shoot eldritch abominations. Where do you aim? You know, there's all these limbs, there's all these heads. It's a lot.
It's a mess. It's just
Always
moving.
go center body mass. Come on now.
I
Where?
like to think that's
Where
purely in
this thing?
character. That's the thing he says.
Else is
It's
just like
exactly what
boy.
you would say. Now, what you're going to do? You want to aim center body mass because hey, headshots those are great in the movies, in the talkies, but no. Sorry.
Else is just eyeing a bottle of beer and just like.
Just chuck it next time.
Yeah. Well,
All
I
right.
guess that's my turn.
So we are gonna go. So that's everyone gone, I think. Yeah. All right. So that is back then over to my side of things, and I am gonna give it to the guy the thing that you tried to shoot at. So this has got to try and break through the glass. So I'm going to try create a truth. It's just a skill test to try and break through this glass. I'll get out of the way of my notes, cat. Buy a die. Brawn and survival. Sure. 2 and a 5. That's going to be enough for me, I think. So, as this thing that was you were distracted momentarily from the abomination in front of you, and then just to the left, the window just starts to crack as you hear this thump, and then another hand comes through, and as this thing starts crawling, smashing through the window, it is now to your left-hand side. It is within reach of Gisela, and for a momentum, I'm going to give it. Oh my god, cat, stop! Another minor action to get right next to her. Its hands and feet are ready to grab her. Back over to you guys. Who wants to go next? Constance?
I kind of want to cast my spell again.
I think you can. 'Cause
I mean,
you just got to pay the cost, right?
yeah. I mean, I've got enough in my mantle. Assuming that between the cafe and now, I've been able to recast it because it's just like a difficulty 0 test that takes however many minutes, I think. So, yeah, I will cast it again. And I'm gonna give Sam some more threat because all of this stuff is easier with that. So I'll give you 3 threat to roll 4 dice.
Okay.
I will see what happens. So I have to roll under. Where is it? It's will and academia, so 14. No, not enough.
Oh man. You focus again, but because of these things around you, you close your eyes, open, and there's no change. And these things are ready, reaching out to you.
I will pay the cost.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna harm it. I'm just gonna see what happens.
Okay. That is 6 stress. That is an injury. So you inflict 1 mental injury onto yourself.
Yeah, and that's also drain, isn't it? Because it just says cost 5 challenge dice of drain, piercing 2.
Yeah, so it's going to ignore a couple of your courage, and it's going to reduce your maximum stress by 1.
Cool. Okay, that's me done.
Okay.
It's really freaky, that thing.
Yeah. The thing in front of you, I'm going to just take this. The thing in front of you actually kind of bull rushes you aside as you open your eyes and just pause and realize the connection's not there. It's because you have moved, and it's pushed you, barged you out of the way, and has grabbed Gisela. I am going to, and because I've just been working on the GM chapter of this bad boy, I am going to spend 6 threat to basically flip this reversal, end the scene basically here as it clutches Gisela, and we see a shot of them jumping out of the side of the window with her, and then we cut to you guys on the side of the bank, the river Danube. My geography is awesome. Sure. We cut to the side of the riverbank. You guys have been tending to Constance. Mm-hmm. You have a splitting headache. And what did it do before it slapped you, right? Because there was a physical wound as well, I think, that I gave you.
Yeah, it kind of grabbed onto me. I've got 1 physical injury, 1 mental injury.
Yeah, sure. So these aren't going to go away easily. You guys have got to work on this. So this gives you an opportunity to heal up a bit. You can hear sirens from behind you. You're not far from the fairground, but you're enough that you're out of the way, and you're quiet, essentially. There's no one around. You're around the back of I imagine like a shop that's got kind of a fair kind of backyard on it with a brick wall around, and you guys are just taking refuge amongst the garbage that's around, just trying to stay out of sight.
Is this a new scene, so we lose all of our stress, don't we?
Yeah, you've still got the injuries, but this is a new scene, so I've spent a load of threat just to end the scene there. And you can hear sirens behind you.
How do I heal fatigue, Sam?
So you need to be away from the thing that you're that brought you the fatigue, which you are technically. You also, if you go down right to the bottom of the action scenes bit, need to test for me brawn or will plus resilience, difficulty 1.
Can I do will and resilience then?
Yeah, of course.
Cool. Will and resilience. No, both of those are a fail.
So you are just obsessing over your misconnection with the alternate planes that you try and impose on other people, and basically not to try and just narrate for your character say, but I'm imagining that she, like the others of the group, are seeing you close your eyes and just open them again, and it's like nothing. Close your eyes and then open again, and there's just nothing.
It's just dizziness and like double vision and.
Mm-hmm.
anyone got for like first aid kit or any kind of healing ability? Help
2
Constance out.
ibuprofen would be great right now.
Got a spanner.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't think animal handling will help. So
Maybe not
Just
here.
got
No.
one in
I tell
one
you
in
what.
medicine.
I'll have
that-
Tetley just hop up and be the therapy dog that we need.
Can
Right
Tetley
now.
heal my mental injury?
Right. Susie, you've got stats for Tetley, haven't you?
I do have stats for Tetley.
All
One
right.
sec.
Tetley's gonna roll. Will
Okay.
and don't know. Survival.
Okay.
Does he have survival?
He does. So that would be an 11 to
Okay.
go for.
Difficulty 1.
Okay. Come on, Tetley. Be a good boy.
My good boy.
He's the best boy.
He's the best boy.
2
And
successes.
to rename that special rule he's got, I think, from good boy to best boy. All right.
Best boy.
Yeah. So Constance, you heal that mental wound.
Thanks. I'm just gonna scratch Tetley behind the ears and
He like gives you the
bury my
look of
face
your
in him for a bit.
Yeah.
All right. What is your plan now, guys? Gisela is gone. You have somehow... Sophia just clutches the letter
Yeah.
that you've still managed to salvage from
Yeah, you
this.
just kind of just see her just holding on to it, but like not really doing anything. She's just kind of like rocking back and forth because she's been through a lot. She's covered in blood. Her sister's hurt.
You said that like holding it by a flame would be useful, like over
Yeah.
a candle.
Yeah.
Yep.
I probably don't have my ritual tools with me. I can't remember if I said I brought them with me or not, but I would have a lighter because she does carry a candle as part of her ritual thing.
Yeah,
So
I'll give you that. That's fine.
I'm gonna hand it over to Sophia, and
She
she'll be
just
like,
kind of
"Does
like
this
grab it and just
help?"
yeah. Thanks. And then she'll just kind of like do the thing where it's like kind of get closer, like hold it far away at first, and then just kind of hold the piece of paper closer and closer, see where if the heat will activate it.
Okay. If you can see this, you see the letter change. And as you move down, you can see the watermarked message just that bit clearer.
All right. Thingy. All right. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. It says, "Oh, here we go. Look to the Mexican apothecary's bookshop. There lies the key to unlock the gates of history." It's like there's a. I guess this is where we look. At least we got something out of it.
We have to get her back, though, right?
If there is a back from that you saw those things.
What, Sam? Where did we see where those things went? Did they jump into the river? Did they just kind of disappear up? Or
You, I'm going to say in part of my third spend, you didn't manage to see where they went, where they ended up.
gotcha. Okay.
They'd have gone generally in the direction of the city.
Well, I don't mean to be the bad guy, but the mission was make contact, find out what happened to her fiance, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Presumably, whatever happened to her fiance is now possibly happening to her.
Well, that may be true, but in any case, we do have a clue on where we need to go next.
Yeah. Does anybody have any idea what the hell those things were?
Never seen it like
What were
it before.
those?
That was
I can
look
try making.
You should be the one to know. I thought you were versed in those occulty things. Never seen something like that.
Can I try using my will and academia to see if I've heard of any creatures like this in my occult studies, like in demonology books or in like any of the mythos stuff that I might have come across?
You can roll your reason and academia.
Cool.
Let me just check the focuses. What focuses do you have?
Occultism, linguistics, and history for academia.
History will apply.
Cool. So it's 14. One success.
Okay. There are zombies in various different folklore, mythology, and obviously somewhat popular, but probably pulp culture around. So there are a lot of common variations when it comes to creatures of this kind. But the form that they've taken and the look of them, their behavior as well, indicates that actually they're very similar to the Draugr of Norse mythology. The only thing that was different about those myths to these was the strange gas that you guys are all subjected to inside. That itself had a very almost kind of chlorine-y, chemically kind of smell, bleachy kind of smell. So that's what you can understand from there. I am going to award you the magic surge for today that got donated, so you can control the next illusion that you can disbelieve. So Constance, if she figures out that something is an illusion, she can actually control that illusion.
Cool.
She might not be aware of this right now, and maybe we can make it in play that actually she does it subconsciously. But keep it as a note, keep it in mind, and then I'll work something in later for it too. Seeing as what she's been through here really applies, because I think, not that I'm going to spend any threat on it or make it a truth or anything, but I feel like she's lost a little bit of a kind of connection to what she was able to cast before, based on the kind of failure and the thing that's happened to her.
I'll relay what I know then to the group, that it's kind of a Norse mythology kind of zombie-like Draugr thing. Beyond that, I've seen a lot of things, but not that.
So, if you describe the smell of that gas and what it looked like, etc., I was wondering if I could connect it maybe to an actual chemical gas used as a war weapon, like mustard gas or something like that. Does it remind me of anything I would have heard of?
Callum, I want you to frame a scene for me. I want you to frame a scene in the middle of the Spanish Civil War where you fought a key battle, where weapons might have been tested on the combatants.
Okay.
I'd love a bit of even a little tidbit of history here. That'd be awesome.
Next time, give me some clue ahead of time.
Sorry about it. Well, you asked, and this is completely spontaneous for me, to be honest. But go for it.
Okay. So I'm gonna be in a mountain pass with a group of fighters. We left the city early. We are badly equipped. We have barely weapons. We are supposed to go there to stop a column of tanks, armored vehicles, which are about to reach a village. We were informed by the villagers. They sent us a shepherd in the city to call for reinforcement, and all we had was our little group badly equipped. We have small arms and a few stick of dynamite. And the shepherd is not even with us. He went with the Air Force trying to help them. They put them in a plane to help with trying to bomb the pass, the bridge, because he cannot read a map. He could see the thing from the sky. But as we are progressing there, we hear in the sky the sound of what we know is not the airplanes for the International Brigade, but the airplanes being tested by the Condor Legion. So these are Germans airplanes, and we hear them passing over, so we quickly jump behind boulders trying to hide ourselves, and we are overlooking lower that pass with the tank driving by there.
Then if I may, you look up, actually grab some binoculars from the contact that you made contact with earlier. I would like you to name him. I don't need it right now, but let me know. He passes you some binoculars. You look up at what looks like either like some kind of transport plane or maybe a bomber flying over very low. As you look up through the binoculars at the plane, you see this putrid, sickly green gas descend out the back of it. And as it flies back towards the town that you had been walking from, on the side of the plane is a wolf's head.
In a cog.
And then on the radio, about a moment later, you hear frantic radio messages transmitting over the top of one another, and it's panicked Spanish Civil War forces who are still retreating from the town. And they are basically saying that the dead are walking. The dead are walking, and it's chaos. They are in absolute panic. Even over the radio, you can hear some long arm fire, some crazy pistol shots, and it's chaos. All you can do there is sit and listen as the tank slowly rumbles towards the town. And you slowly hear the radio signals die out. And that is what you can remember from the gas.
Okay. Okay, I'll start describing that to the others. I mean, at the time, didn't make any sense. I just saw and Willem, who was with me, actually, believe it or not, but Willem was here tonight. I met him. He was at the fairground. I needed to talk about you later, but yeah, we were in Teruel. We were in the mountain. We were still in contact with and this gas you described. I thought at the time it was people going crazy, having hallucinations. You know, this sort of things that they used it in the Great War, and now what just happened. Maybe our guys were not crazy. Maybe, I mean, they surely went crazy when they saw that. The few I met, they never were the same. But yeah, but I thought they were hallucinating, and yeah, maybe it was that thing already. No, there was a wolf on the side of the airplane, and the guy in the coffee shop earlier today, he had this tattoo with a cog and a wolf also.
Well, did the plane have a cog and a wolf, or was it just a wolf's head? Are we sure this is the same group?
Sam, I don't know if it was just a wolf or same wolf, or...
Would you like to spend a point of momentum?
Do we have any left?
Why not?
One.
Let's use it.
All right. You think back clearly and try and really reach back in your memory for this. Wading through the experience of listening to the radio transmissions is the hard bit, but you focus on what you saw through the binoculars, and you clearly see a heads wolf inside a cog. Small, but present on the fuselage of the plane. Just below the, would they use a Luftwaffe insignia, or would they cover? Was it kind of like a covert operation? Would you say? Were they covering their tracks? The Germans, that is, historically.
Oh, no, I think they kept their markings. They were not.
Okay, yeah. So below the below the Luftwaffe cross is, or actually inside the center of the Luftwaffe cross, was this wolf's head inside the cog.
I was sure it was the cog. I remember now. I didn't make the connection earlier today. It's crazy.
Excellent. So we don't have to worry about the bastards crawling over Europe. They can now bring the dead back. That is icing on top of the Nazi-covered cake. But hey, we can't stay here. We've got to move. This place is gonna be crawling with Wehrmacht and God knows who next. They probably want to see what their experiments did. So we should probably get out of here.
So,
yeah, I agree.
Do we have any kind of idea what that Mexican apothecary bookshop might be?
No.
We're gonna have to start doing a little research, aren't we?
Figure
Any
out
kind of bookstores. Sisters.
Whatever it is, though, it can wait a day because and then I point to Constance, looks terrible.
Yeah, we
Okay.
Yeah, we should get back to the hotel, and then Ward. At the end of the last scene, he would have picked up all of his shell casings because they don't need to see those kinds of shell casings just laying around and start looking. So he just kind of tosses them into the river before we leave.
Cool. That's like, I imagine like a really good, cool high-angle shot as you drop them down towards the camera.
He tosses them like Maverick throwing Goose's dog tags into the ocean. Sorry.
And we cut back to, because you guys were saying you wanted to give it a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
B, you're muted.
Muted.
But I think you wanted to say something.
Yeah, sorry, there was one more thing I wanted to do before you left the scene. We found out last time when we kind of tried to figure out if we knew what Natwolf was. Mm-hmm. They worked with a lot of weird crystal-based stuff. Did any of that gas leave a residue on either mine or Sophie's clothing?
There are small amounts of residue, yeah. You brushed off most of it for fear of some kind of contamination, I think.
If there's if I've got any bits of clothing where it's still left on, I want to basically just tear that bit off and fold it up so we have the residue. Because if it's weird crystal-based stuff, maybe we can have somebody look at it. I don't know.
I have my
I want to
kit.
keep a sample of that residue. In which case, I'll just give the sample to you.
Okay. I guess while you're resting, Sophia will take a look at it.
Cool.
Okay.
So that was it. Just before
No, that's okay.
I changed clothes.
I might need to come back to you with some results for that as you study it. But yeah, there's a nice, cool little incidental scene now, actually, as you guys are recovering back at the hotel. Sophia, the hotel desk clerk, stops you. He's actually asking, you want room 39? and it's the room you're staying in.
Yes.
You received a call, and he hands you a little like index card note paper where he's written down essentially what is the kind of signal for you to get back in touch with Whitehall.
Okay.
I'm sure I wrote this down. Oh, I had a funky thing for it, maybe. But yeah, so it's something like, your flowers are ready or something. It's one of those kind of innocuous sentences that indicates to you clearly that this is like, you need to get back in touch to find out what's kind of going on.
Yeah, I'll just nod and say, thank you.
Cool.
Can I,
if you like?
Can I grab Sophia before you make that call?
Yes.
Yeah, if you like.
I take you aside and I tell you, this guy who fought alongside me and was here tonight with Willem, I told him we could help him, and I think he might have information which interests us. He's heading for Rome, and our own organization's got 2 agents there which might be in trouble. So
And that would be organization, if you can say.
For the Maquis, the Spanish Maquis, the Resistance, the Republicans.
Yeah.
I did not expect it. Us to be active here. But he was here. Apparently, they're active in Rome also. But if there might be useful assets to recover, if you are willing to help with taking them out of Rome.
If they can help, I'll do what I can. I'll contact my superiors and see what they think. But appreciate it.
I hope maybe I will have a chance to grab Willem before he leaves Vienna. He gives me a rendezvous point here, and I gave him a mailbox also in Rome. So if you could tell me some pick-up information for me to share with him, I can send them his way. And then before we leave here, I don't think we're gonna stick around here so much. I will try to meet him one last time.
Okay. I'll do that. Thanks for what you did at the Ferris wheel. Didn't expect. We are mixed up in some deep, awful business, and we'll probably need everything we can take.
That's really bad. I mean, they've been, the Italians, the fascists, they've been developing weapons, but it goes way beyond shells and bombardment techniques and troop movements. This is insane. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Have a nice call.
Yeah, I'll do what I can. See what they have to say. All right.
So I imagine you make the call to Whitehall, and it's another woman's voice, and she says, "We have the information you requested." And she starts to reel off a bit of intel. Now, this is where I'm going to ask Callum, for every point of threat that Shauna gives me, she gets to ask you a question about your character that you have to answer truthfully. Now, no dick moves, but like, again, GM rule applies where you can be a little vague as you like, but this is essentially coming from the point of view of the kind of British intelligence on maybe what they had on your involvement in your anti-fascist occupation stuff and the Civil War. So Shawnee, you're free to spend threat as you like. Generate threat as you like. I've got 3 at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. I'll just say like what he told me. He was a part of the anti-fascists in the Spanish Civil War, and that he had allies in Rome that could be helpful for us. And I offered to help him out with his organization. I just want to know we're not walking into some sort of double agent situation with the Germans, because he does know German, and it has me a slight bit on edge.
Okay, I think is the question there then, is George a double agent? I'm guessing, is that right?
Yes, yeah.
Can you slightly clarify what would be a double agent for you? I mean,
that he works for the Germans in their intelligence branch.
No, I don't work for the Germans.
Okay, so that is 4. So I've got 4 threat now. Would you like to ask any more questions
about
George?
I think.
I mean, just to while you're thinking, to the reason you pretty certain I'm not a double agent, you could really tell I was shaken by that memory, and that I holded a grudge against the people using that technology. And yeah, when I was talking about fighting fascists, you could say I was very sincere about that. So I think that's how you would have the hunch, it's a very strong hunch, that I'm not a double agent. I'm certainly not working for the people we are up against.
Yeah, that's all. I think that's all she really wants to know at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll tell the Home Office about how the mission's going, about specifically about there being Nachtwolf after involvement here, and if
the
we
voice
can
on
help,
the other end of the. Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, I said that if we can help George's people out, I would like any assistance that you can give them. It would help with this mission.
The voice on the other end of the phone is, I mean, this is fairly normal, routinely matter of fact about things. She just says, "Thank you, we'll be in touch," and then rings off.
Okay.
So that is where we're at. Go on. You're free to.
I'd like to talk with Ward. I mean, I'm going to be quite open with him. I mean, and the others can be involved, not just Ward, but the person I go to discuss is Ward. And I'll tell him that.
Yeah, you would find him there's I don't know what the hotel situation, but there's an open kind of balcony, like a little veranda area or something like that. But he's been pretty quiet and on his own since we got back to the hotel. He's been out there kind of very contemplative.
Let's have a look how much of a luxury item that would be, but when I come to you next to you before joining you on the balcony, there's a gramophone, and I'm gonna put it on rather loud and start playing das Schon Blau Danube, very and I come put that quite high, and I come to you and I speak not very high, and I explain to you that I run into a former what do you call that, a brother in harm. Yeah, brother in harm. I don't use the word comrade. Not yet.
Come on, comrade.
Yeah.
And I explained to you that he seems to be in trouble, but turns out he was around when when this thing happened with the bomber and the test, and I did not realize that when the event happened earlier today, and I feel I need to go tell him about him, and I question him about that. But time might be key because he should be leaving for Rome soon, so I might have a shot at reaching him before he leaves by going to a chocolate shop on the Brunnerstrasse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if y'all were involved with that business back then, we got the same people involved now. Makes sense that he's here. But it also, you sure you can trust him? Absolutely positive.
Sam, I don't know if I would need a roll for that, but if I was making the roll, just an idea, I would definitely raise the difficulty based on one of my truth, because by default I would trust this guy.
What would the task be against though? Like I would say you trust this guy implicitly. This is someone you fought with. It's kind of crazy out of the blue, but yeah, if he says something, he means it.
Yeah, I trust him. I trust him. We fought alongside. Willem is a good guy. He probably everything that's happening is probably keeping him from going back where he's from, and with everything that is going on.
Yeah, because this is what we got going on over here. Those things move with a purpose. I'm sure you saw that, right? So that means they can control these things, whatever the hell they are. I don't know about you, George, but I think we're in over our heads a little bit, and so we could use all the help we can get.
Yeah, I think we've got a common interest here in stopping that. It's a very serious situation. I mean,
Do you think maybe he would be able to help finding out where this bookshop is?
maybe I can ask him for sure. I mean, the reason I'm coming to you is, how do you see that? Should I go on my own, or do we go as a group again? What do you think is the most appropriate?
Well, I don't think anybody should go anywhere by themselves. Nobody should go anywhere alone. Should have some kind of backup from now on, because this shit's serious.
It's your call. I don't trust myself tonight. Not what happened at the coffee place the other day. I can go...
maybe next time let's not punch Nazis as much as I did enjoy seeing that through the glass in such settings. Let's maybe do it behind a building, in an alley, away from the prying eyes of the SS. But
I thought this truck was coming for you for us. I thought we had to exit the place as fast as possible. But I told you this guy had a tattoo from that organization. I mean, we could investigate what hospital he was taken to, by the way, also. He might lead us to know other people from his organization.
Yeah, that's true. But didn't you say, like, he didn't react when the SS troops came in?
Well,
so they're probably not working completely together.
I don't think he had I left him much time to react, because I thought he was working with them. I thought it was a setup. That's the thing. That's why I knocked him out. I thought we got set up, and that was it. Yeah. They were coming for us.
Yeah, I think it was just a random chance that they showed up, though. I don't know. That's what it seemed like.
Well, it's not what I call chance, but...
Well, I mean, I did slash his tires. And it did give me all kinds of good dreams that night. But we've now woken into a nightmare, if I do say so myself. So, I guess no more slashing Nazi tires. Oh, well. Can't win them all. Yeah, I think we should reach out to this guy. Maybe he has something we can use, and if he is on our side, we can at least warn him. But yeah, I'll go with you.
Cool. All right. And I think with that, we will leave it there this evening. There we go. Thank you very much for playing, guys. Awesome session.
Thank you for running.
Sorry,
Sam.
I'm sorry that for some combat did not go so well as for others. These things were pretty nasty, but you can thank who was the guy that donated last week?
Jordan.
It was Jordan.
Yeah.
Get him. It's his
You can
fault.
thank Jordan for that lovely encounter. But obviously, seeing as before we all wrap up, seeing as we're testing, I would love, and I steal this from Lloyd, who works with us as well, who GMs for us, ran an awesome session for us this week of masks. I would like to know. I've forgotten what he called it, but I'd like to know something good and something bad, something you enjoyed and something you didn't enjoy so much. And I'd really appreciate if you could think of it in a bit of a rules way. So that's something that you liked about the rules that you used, or something that you didn't necessarily like, or maybe you even think didn't work, because we're entirely open to taking that kind of thing. And chat as well. Chat if you think that something you think maybe kind of could like do with a tweak, or you really liked seeing fortune spends or something like that, let us know as well. Pruitt, was there anything that came to mind for you about something you enjoyed or something you didn't enjoy about the session?
I enjoyed unloading a clip of ammunition into a Nazi zombie. That was quite fulfilling with the last few weeks that I've had. Even though I didn't kill it, at least I made my impression felt, so to speak.
So that's basically like, you don't need momentum, you don't need to spend any fortune points. You've got some ammo, and like spending that ammo means you just get like your attacks just that bit better. So that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Cool. All right.
Oh no, I really like that. It's any kind of new system is interesting to try to get used to. I mean, I really like it so far. Keeping up with like all the threat and momentum is a little bit, still a little bit difficult for me. But it's a new system we're learning, so it'll probably become more natural. Just kind of like the nebulous like pools that everybody can buy into or feed into. Sometimes can be, if you just like don't pay attention for just a second, then it's off. So having I would say like making sure to have a dedicated tracker.
Yeah, I think so. It's difficult for us obviously because we're over a screen. I think V's trying to keep up with momentum pool, and not from what we have on the table is very quick shill, very quick plug. We often bring out like tokens and stuff for this kind of thing as an accessory, so that you've got stuff on the table. So that's really handy. So I think maybe we don't do it in the like backroom chat rather than in the full chat for Twitch. But maybe like let's just keep posting our values. I was trying to keep up with it a little bit because I've just got like this piece of paper is just like crazy numbers because that's me tracking what I've got. But like maybe I'll keep it going in chat so that we're well aware, because also threat should be something that you guys are aware of. While it's a meta currency, it kind of demonstrates how threatening the thing is or how much tension is being ramped up in the story. So if you build it up over time, I can actually fairly dynamically kind of set the tone for scenes or set the tone for the adventure. So, it might be that like, I'll spend little bits here and there to kind of make things interesting, or I might be saving up, and you guys are like, well, what the hell is he going to spend it on next? And then just like dump it all at once, and then like Cthulhu arrives or something, like, So that can kind of set the tone too. But I totally get, like, we've obviously heard before from some of our games too, there are a lot of moving parts that you have to kind of keep track of. So I'm hoping the cheat sheet that I made for people is handy as well for those kind of spends and stuff. But I've also got to say, you guys were really on it with like this kind of aims and moves and the kind of reroll stuff, thinking about your minor actions too. There's like my home game for Star Trek doesn't think like that. They're like, I'm going to shoot the phaser, and I'm like, don't you want to set it to something first? Like, come on, there's stuff for this.
Yeah.
So you guys have a really good handle on that, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think everybody pretty much knows their abilities and stuff. So.
Cool. Thanks very much. So V, I mean, you work with this day in day out, but like,
Yeah,
was there something in the
was there
something in the session? Was there something in the session, our session today, that were like you picked up on, or you really enjoyed even?
I mean, I'm really enjoying how like spellcasting is working. I know that kind of semi pre-stream we made some edits to cost and stuff like that, and that works really well. It feels a lot better.
Change your magic cost.
Yeah. Just I know it was tiny, but it's like the difference for my character between being able to cast 2 or 3 spells without being totally wiped out. I think the thing that I think we could maybe tweak is how limited fortune is. It's like I feel like once per scene, like if you want to kind of just dump your fortune and use it there, you should be able to do that because it's pulp. I feel like just being able to list those off, because I think the same way that it kind of balances the fact that as a GM you can take a bunch of threat and do a big thing, but as a player you kind of only get that once, whereas you could do that multiple times in a scene depending on how big your threat pool is. So I think the ability to be able to re-roll and introduce a truth later would be a lot more just fun in general, but maybe not in the same turn.
Yeah, I'm thinking that actually kind of in combat, that's keeping it to maybe one a round or something is a limiter.
Yeah.
Or actually, maybe it doesn't need a limiter. Maybe 1 week, let's try it and see how much we kind of like get through. The other thing we might, I'll chat to Nathan about. The other thing we might look at is that refresh of fortune, and then at that point, I suppose we are putting more of that on the GM to award it. So say, for example, if well, actually, now that I remember, and there are all these kind of, these can be these, because the 2d20 is such a toolbox, it's got some of these edge cases that we can like really play around with. So actually, that reversal of that scene and ending quickly without you guys kind of having a say and just throwing her out the window, actually, I remember you guys should have all got a fortune point for that. Because that was me, that is quite adversarial. That is me really changing up the dynamic of the story. And then you guys should get something for that, really. I think in terms of like kind of meta currency. So, yeah.
I play as someone who's been playing Warhammer for the last few whatever. I completely agree with because it's basically the same mechanic, getting a reroll.
Yeah, sure.
And you have about the same amount of fate points or fortune points, and just if you want to burn them all in 2 rounds, hey, that's how you spend them. Because the other thing is, I have
kind of agency too.
Yeah, I mean, I have that born leader talent that I can spend a fortune point to give it to an ally. And so would that still hold where, like, if I spent my fortune point to give it to an ally, I don't get to spend one for the rest of the encounter? And it's like,
that's a good piece of little feedback about the talent that's really valuable as well.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump back in, but when Virginia mentioned that, it triggered it.
No, that's perfect, man. Yeah, that's born leader, isn't it? Do you say?
Yep.
Yeah. So fortune limit. Just note that down. Cool. All right. You think you enjoyed V? Oh yeah. So you said the magic. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, the magic stuff, and
that is only one dice of that is only one die. It's all been brought down by, but it sounds like it's a decent change.
It just in terms of what it does and it affects me, because obviously it drains me. And it reduces my stress, which is really sucky because it's like on Fallout where your health comes up, but the rad bar comes down, and it's like I can only heal up so far in combat if I wanted to. So I think just that little change just balances it nicely so that I still feel kind of useful and I can keep casting. I kind of wish that, it might just be a me thing, that dealing with fatigue was a lot easier.
Well, I mean, I think that can also be down to GM kind of caveat too. Yeah. Because I think last week I was very happy to hand wave it. I was doubly happy that I found an image of a corgi in a dressing gown. But so it was a quiet lunch break. So we, so kind of spending some time away rather than doing the skill test, it's probably fine. But if you really want to like keep on going and still try and recover fatigue, then maybe the skill test that's what it's there for, maybe.
Well, or about making it more roleplay. There's another game I try called Fantasy Role-Playing System, and it's based on trait also. And when you recover health is through scenes, and scenes can be fights, but can be anything. So you can recover during combat scene. But for instance, the scene we had after the fight, if you involve your truth, that could activate what heals your character rather than making a skill check. It encourages the player to come up with stuff and develop their relationship by bringing up the things which define their character. So I think it would be cool if the scene we had with Prid, for instance, on the balcony, or with Sophia, if encouraging players to develop those little moments are actually what brings stuff to that's how you heal. So at the same time, you get being at a distance, but it's not just, we leave, I'm gone for 24 hours. No, actually, with such a system, it's like, I'm gone for 24 hours. Well, if you don't tell what you've been doing, you actually don't heal, so you need to create something.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've had games that we've supported before as well as Modiphius Tales from the Loop, which does something very similar. So that is when you have to recover your conditions, you go back to your hideout and you play a scene. V, I know you've had some amazing
rest and recreation.
Yeah, exactly. V, I know you've had some amazing role play scenes with your group for that.
I had players that their little thing was like an old magnetron flyer, and they called it the Enterprise. And for some reason, TNG existed in 1986 or whatever.
Something, sure.
Yeah,
back in time.
It's always
and
nice to something.
They were all so literally so broken that they went back and was like, can we just play pretend Star Trek? So I watched them for 20 minutes, role-playing their characters, playing a game of Star Trek, arguing over who got to be Kirk and who was Geordi and if they could be on the same ship. It was...
And that's what you want, right?
Beautiful. Yeah. One other thing with fatigue is it'd be... I don't know if it's feasible in terms of the rules that we have, but having something that even if you were to take a bunch of fatigue, being able to push yourself at a massive cost. Because I think dramatically that would be really interesting.
Yeah. Again, it's another moving part to the toolbox though. Yeah. So while maybe that might not be a core rule, that could be a cool piece of GM alternate play where it's if you want and if people are really pushing it. Because I'll be honest with you, I will do stuff on the fly as much as another GM. So if one of you said to me, look, do you know what, I want to burn through some of my stress track and I want to do this thing, I'd be like, cool. That sounds awesome. That's fine. I
think maybe it's a bit of advice somewhere in there. But I think that would be for something that's pulpy and crazy. That would be a fun thing that not just magic casters, but anyone who suffers fatigue and stuff like that can kind of push that bit extra. Because I see fatigue not so much as lost stress, as more the physical rundown of yourself. So it's not like you're hurt. It's just you just can't do anymore. But the idea of pushing past that is every pulpy film ever is the heroes at their worst and they can't do anything else, but they just have to.
Well, that's the end of Atomic Blonde, right? That's the massive fight scene in Atomic Blonde where she's just done in,
stacking around, and it's just throwing the lamest punches at each other because you have to keep going because otherwise you're dead.
Oh, Big Trouble in Little China, when Jack Burton shoots and he's not part of the big fight because he's just unconscious.
Any Rocky movie.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Susie, what did you like? What did you not like necessarily about this session today, do you think?
That cheat sheet, huge help. So thank you for that.
It's all right.
I freaking love threat. I love threat. How we're I want to do a thing. Okay, pay me some. Sure, take this, punish us later, but I want to do a thing now. And you did, and it was great. And your use of threat in that fight was awesome. And you're like, I'm going to make this cool stuff happen. And threat's great. Love it. I agree very much with Virginia about being able to use more fortune in a fight, because I'm not genuinely salty about it, but I felt pretty useless in that fight because I just couldn't do shit. But if I could have been able to use my fortune more times in that fight, maybe I would have been a bit more useful. And I don't know, I feel like it would get people that maybe have inherited someone's dice curse through it, feel a bit more like they're not sidelined in a fight and feel like they can do something. So I'm a big fan of that.
And I really like the suggestion now, thinking about it, because this is the pulpier version of our previous game. So it's meant to be like throwing fortune around, throwing threat around. So I think that would really key into the theme we're trying to go for as well. Not only that, but like you say, kind of assist you kind of when the character's not at their kind of shiniest.
Yeah, it's like a pulp. It's like daring heroes being improbably lucky. So, if you miss a couple of shots, you do the whole stick your tongue out a bit, aim again, bam, the hero gets the shot kind of deal, Yeah.
It's the Lando Calrissian Han Solo shot in Return of the Jedi. It's I'm not blind, I got this. Yeah. Absolutely.
The thing is, because you can use fortune to introduce a truth that benefits you. I think you're right in what you're saying, Susanna, is that if you're in a situation where it's not your forte, you could essentially spend a few points of fortune to start introducing things to set up so that you can do something, as opposed to just kind of hoping an opportunity happens. Because I think that's a big thing that's overlooked with fortune, of introducing stuff that's new to the scene.
Yeah,
and you guys can
create
always
a truth with fortune.
Yeah,
and you can create straight off the bat, you just it never would have existed before, and fortune just makes it happen.
So I was going to say, does this do what John Carter does? Because I have 3 different 2d20 systems in my head where you can make the truth even better and stronger by spending more fortune. Because that is a thing in Carter which is really funny, because you can just dump your fortune points into making something really awesome happen.
So this is part of a larger conversation too about momentum, and I think probably going on to fortune as well, where actually there are some real narrative things you can do with momentum too. So if you have a success and you've got a momentum spare and you don't really know what you want to do with it, but actually you've had a kind of cool little story thought that would just improve your success, that will work. And we totally allow for that. And it's kind of it's not an unwritten thing about the game, but obviously with all these different moving parts and different momentum spends and stuff like that, it can sometimes get a little bit bogged down. And actually you can do something whereby if you're just you know what, I didn't hit the guy, but we've got a momentum in the pool, and you know what, I want him to just not quite get his grip on the side of the carriage or something like that. So the thing that's the Draugr that's holding on to it, let's just make it, I'll make him a little bit difficult just once, his next shot or something, or his next action. So it's not like it's creating a big truth or anything, but it does, it gives you something as well. There is also I really like the success at cost stuff that we can implement, whereby essentially, don't be afraid to always offer me well, you know what, I failed, but can I succeed if this really bad thing happens? Because I'll be sure, that we can run with this. And it's something I always encourage players to do and GMs to do when they're running, is that always think about success at cost. It's one of those things that I just either forget, or is one of those lesser kind of moving parts that people don't use as much. Complication range increases are the same too. Rather than increasing the difficulty of stuff, then you could just increase the complication range. It's not harder, it's just riskier, All right, so that was my little tangent there for that. All right, but so Shauna, what did you like, what did you not like necessarily?
Yeah, I think that it's part of the same thing where it's I like the back and forth between the threat and the momentum and all that stuff. But I think where I am, I think the little cheat sheet definitely helped a lot and figure out what, because I'm still kind of taking it from reading the rules to be able to like use it in the game is still fairly new. But
yeah, of course.
I think trying to figure out like what the value of each like meta currency is currently kind of like, I'm unsure of like, okay, we have 13 threat is like, how bad is that necessarily? Because it's like there's some points where like I would like you get that advantage, but it's like I kind of don't know where in the situation the threat or the how much am I kind of like setting myself up for failure later with the fortune and stuff like that.
Sure.
I think that'll come in with like getting a little more familiar with the system.
Yeah, and I think it also helps again, not the fact that we're like behind the screen, but it's more like when you're sat at a table and you've got a big stack of it in front of you. It's just a bit more visceral, and people are a bit more kind of worried about it. Whereas here, if I keep punching in little numbers and stuff, then that's not great.
I don't know.
Look,
I don't know if in the people watching, if there are any fantasy ground with, but if we could have a gauge of some kind, that I think it would be nice also for the people not watching on Twitch and having access to the chat, but people watching on YouTube afterwards, to have a visual representation of that threat and momentum. Of course, it's annoying and technical to find a solution to that, but.
So Prue and Susie are having a bit of a tiff in our chat, and I can't help but mention it because you guys are just like making faces at each other now. Like, what is this?
Sorry, guys. I am actually listening also.
Yeah, no, sure.
But I have to. I can't stand for this. He's American. Not only is he American, he's Texan, and that's twice as worse. Somehow.
Just wait until you get into a car or plane, and then you can show him who's boss.
I'll let Ward drive, and then laugh at him.
You should do the thing, Susanna, where you know, like you've seen the videos of it's like the woman gets in the car and takes her driving instructor out and then goes crazy. You should totally just do that. Just driving along and then.
He's gonna. Here's the thing. He's gonna go on. Ward's an officer. He doesn't drive, so he's fine with that.
Plus, if you don't let the American drive like right away in European, because we're just gonna drive on the wrong side just automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. True. Well, okay. So with that over, Shauna, was there anything else? Sorry.
I think that's it. I think it's just like I'm trying to gauge what all like kind of like where all those things sit as far as like in my head. Like I think especially with our first big combat stuff.
Yeah. I still think you guys were clued in on it. I didn't, I didn't feel like I really had to kind of push, like keep going over the options and stuff. Like I said, you guys, you knew what you were doing. It was good. I enjoyed it. And then Callum, any feedback from you, sir?
I'm trying to think and work out where it comes from. I'm starting with the bad and finished on the good. It felt like it took. People seem to know their options and what they wanted to do, but still the pace felt slow, and I cannot tell really why and how, because when I think of the component, it doesn't sound that different from all the games I played. But yeah, it seemed like there was a lot of time between the moment when not only I would act, but the others would act. There's just, I guess maybe there's a lot of decision along the way, from rather than initiative Newton, action X. It's are we spending a momentum to keep the initiative? Yeah, we're doing or not. We discuss together. Then who wants to act first? And all these things, which is sort of nice to give us agency. At the same time, it breaks the pace instead of saying, who's next? Next up, this person, and because you move who plays, I guess people, their action gets dispersed. They end up at the beginning of a round, and the next one they are at the end. And I see what it's supposed to do, which is keep the focus on the action, the narrative, the scene, like on a movie. But tonight it didn't quite click to me. It felt long, and I was like, how long has it been since Susie has done something?
And really interesting, yeah. And actually, I did find it a little difficult to keep track. I wonder if, because I think either I'm not playing this by the letter, or it's maybe like V says, we've got a few games in our head, so maybe it's from something else. That this is how I run initiative, to be honest, just kind of at my table. I wonder if actually it would be easier, a bit more direct, if you as the player handed over to a character. So if I'd just gone and I'd like say V, I just beat you up as the Draugr, I'd go, okay, it's Constance's turn next, and then if you personally want to keep the initiative, you'd hand it over to like Sophia or Elsie or something, and then they would hand it back to the Draugr on the roof or something. So yeah, that maybe let's try it.
Yeah.
Sure.
No idea.
Yeah, let's give it a whirl.
Okay.
Because then it is a bit more direct, and people just kind of like go in. Because you guys, again, and it's a little bit harder because we're behind, cameras and stuff. So it's like everyone's being very British about it and being very polite. And we're all trying to work out, well, who wants to go next? But well, I know you wanted to shoot somebody, so I pulled you in.
I think that's definitely the problem for, at least for me, not necessarily the rules, is reluctance to take the turn or like spend the group's currency, because it's a collective currency, and it's always like I want that permission before like doing something like expressly.
Yeah. Sure.
And that takes time.
That does, and it slows things down. So as I said, maybe it's a bit more direct, and I think this actually might be the letter of the rules. I'm not sure. So tell me your good thing while I look that up. What's your good thing?
So the good thing, well, I got a couple. The first good thing, I thought it was nice to have to see a character have its moment. Last time it was kind of the moment of my character. It was all about disguise and stealth, etc., and speaking to people in German. And this time we had the moment of Brit having Ward, because Brit, Salvo, and it's nice to see all the traits aligning, and then you got this going on, and it rolls 7 dice, and it's exciting. And the other thing I really enjoy your descriptions of the creatures. I thought they were really cool and visual, and I definitely saw I definitely saw something like the Thing, and at the same time it resonated with my character. I made a joke about Guernica, but that's what I pictured. It was this thing, this amorphous mass with multiple heads and feet, and it really felt like that, and that's the way it resonated with my character.
Well, we do have some beautiful miniatures that you can purchase of these things in 32mm scale. No, we do, but yeah. So these are proper.
Great segue.
Yeah, I know, man.
Well, I'm waiting for you to come visit us all and make us a big surprise like you did for Shields of Tomorrow, and have miniatures of our actual characters.
There's some things I can do. There's some things I can't do. I make no promises. I did, however, get the example of Play in Star Trek to be my home group when we did some testing. So I'm the GM, my wife's in it, and her friends too.
I spotted this the other day, and I was like, "This is amazing."
So yeah, Easter eggs maybe. But we have this cast of like over-the-top characters that have been part of the brand for a while, and some of the legacy. So like we have those too. But I do love all these characters. I think they're really cool too. So that's what I like about the sessions, is that I go away, and on Saturday my brain's just going wah, like with all these characters and ideas and stuff like that. And then with the campaign as well, I've got kind of these strands of where things are going. I'm kind of giving you these tidbits. I have to say, we're moving really slowly. There's a lot of the book to cover if we want to. But the great thing about this is that eventually we basically kind of get the kind of almost sandbox option to pick and kind of go, well, where do you want to go? So once we get there, I think we'll have some really cool times. All right, well, let's wrap up and stuff then. So thank you everybody for watching. Also, just as we've been talking about Achtung Cthulhu rules, obviously, you can still get involved in the beta test. I am going to copy and paste the link in there for you into chat. You can apply there, and we'll get in touch with a kind of beta package. So you can get together with your home group. You can try out the game too. Let us know what you think. We're taking feedback for, I think, for the next few weeks until we round off the game and get it into its kind of final stages. Before we go round people, let's try very quickly to do XP. Thanks, man.
We got time. The next show is cancelled.
I know. We're not overrunning or anything, and I'm not keeping everyone like. I'm okay, and I'm very aware that it's quite late for all of us in Britain. So,
it's late for
got another 3 hours. Let's go, man. Let's go.
Zombies, Nazi zombies. More threat. Okay, so we do a vote, do we not, about heroic moments of the game. So, who had the heroic moments of this session? Do you think? I'm out of it. This is you guys.
I'm going to vote for Ward unleashing like a whole like clip into one of those freaky ass zombies.
Yeah, begrudgingly. Not saltily, I will also vote for Ward.
I just realised that, Susie, you just had more zombos in your life. It's just zombos. All the way down.
All the time. You can't escape.
Yeah. I would second Ward, but I can't be involved, so you guys. I think that's great. Who else?
Ward.
I don't
Anyone
want to
else?
go against the group, so.
Come on, there's XP involved.
Well, no, I mean, I hate to be that guy, but yeah, that was pretty fucking cool.
Alright, you know what? Alright, guys.
I hate to be that guy.
Alright, well, it's
I
up to
do.
you.
I really do.
I
but
think
it
the
was
sledgehammer
awesome.
was a good
It was
idea.
fucking
so,
awesome. Yeah, by the way, I don't know if you saw what I put in the chat. I think Sledgehammer should be four die with the stun, because if you look at the fire axe, it's 4, and it's a similar type item,
Right.
and then all the other bludgeoning weapons have stun. So
Got you. Yeah, nice. I'll take that. I don't mind. Take it on the chin. Alright, well, if no one else is voting for anybody else, Prue, take 2 XP for having the awesome moment, and then 4 XP for being the most awesome. I think. Let me check. When you're part of the team.
yeah, because we're a
Let's
team.
have a look at our character creation chapter.
While you look that up, Sam, I had a look at initiative and turns, and there is no. It's just you pass it back and forth between player and GM, and players take their turns in whatever order they choose. So I guess
come
if
on,
you wanted to,
Oh, come on, you're better than this. You're better than this, come on. Now, this says, word for word, after you've completed your turn, the owning player hands the action to the opposing side. Oh, who will choose oh, yeah, right. So who will choose a single character to take the next turn? Yeah. I think it might have been in a previous draft that I saw this or something. So that could be a nice tweak to make it more direct. So actually you hand over to a character, not to the opposing side.
yeah.
Let's look at that. That's cool. Let's go all the way down to medals and promotion. Captain. No. Sorry, man. Let's do it properly. So, goals. Guys, you have made contact with Gisela. Even though things went south, you've got a lead on what's going on. Everyone gets 4 XP for achieving the objective of the mission.
Nice.
Heroism. So you award the best heroic act 4 XP and other heroes of the sessions 2 XP. So okay, so only 4 for you, Prue, but we've given you 4 for the goal. So it's done. Invoking a truth. Now, actually interesting, because we talked a lot about fortune this session. Remember, guys, that you can always invoke one of your personal truths to make something more difficult for yourself or impossible, or provide a complication in the scene. So it's basically a negative truth for you. You gain a fortune point by doing that.
I wanted to do that because I was almost at 0. In the 0, but there was because it felt like it was taking so much time. There was little opportunities to do so. I thought.
Yeah. So if you want to make something more difficult for yourself, or actually just call it out as impossible at the time, invoking one of your personal truths would give you an XP, and it would give you a fortune point straight away. Failure. Susie, did you buy any extra dice when you rolled for that first or second pistol shot?
I don't think you did. I know you didn't on the first one.
No, not on the first one.
You re-rolled with fortune,
Re-rolled,
I think, didn't
yes.
you? Yeah. Ah, okay. If you'd failed and spent some momentum on bonus d20s, you'd have got some XP.
Dang it.
I'm going to give you an XP. It's a bit sucky
Oh.
that you've had 2 shots on the bounce like that. So buy
Thank
some
you.
dice next time.
I'll take the pity XP.
There we go. Pity XP. It's the best kind of XP. It tastes the same. It's fine.
Hey, it's all XP, yeah.
Yeah. And threat spend. Everyone gains 1 XP for me changing that scene up as dramatically as I did.
Okay.
And I think there was also one other time where I actually spent 3 threat on a roll. I think it was to pull apart the carriage. So also get an XP for all of that kind of cool stuff. Cool. All right. Between adventures, you can spend XP on your character to increase an attribute or skill, gain a new focus or talent. So once we've dealt with Vienna, then you guys can spend your XP and we can improve the guys and make them awesome. Sweet. All right. Well, after the pity XP, let's go around, have a chat to everybody, remind us who you are, where we can find you on the internet, what you are up to, so that we can follow you and have some awesome times. Boss girls, Sundays. Prue, what about you?
Well, I am had a great time again tonight. I am one half of Web DM, where on YouTube we have our DM advice videos. So check us out over there. We also have a Twitch channel where we have games on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. I'm also on Encounter Roleplay on Wednesday as part of my 8 hours of gaming on Wednesdays. And also, I want to point out over on Tales from the Grim on Twitch at Greg's channel on Sunday at 3 o'clock Central, 4 Eastern. We will be starting a Cypher System game with the theme of Highlander. So if you enjoy immortals cutting each other's heads off because there can be only one, well, we're going to do it with the Cypher System. So come check us out, maybe. It should be fun. But I can't wait till next week when we can hopefully finish out this Vienna excursion and get new orders.
Well, Jordan just bought a spoopy monster again.
Double spoopy monster.
Spooky monster. No.
Jordan's just mad because of what happened on Wednesday on Invisible Sun.
I love you, Jordan. Spoopy monster down. Thanks, man. All right. Double monster. V, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet?
Hi.
What are you up to?
I'm Virginia, and I work at Modifius with Sam, so you can find me at conventions when that happens, and you can also find me at Tabletop Horde on Twitter. You should come along. I retweet a lot of fun stuff, and occasionally I ask questions that spin wildly out of control. Hopefully you people will see me more on some streaming stuff if things go well in the near future. But yeah, other than that, check out Modifius stuff that I've got to work on, because that's fun too.
That was a very Rick and Morty intergalactic TV advert you just did. It's very good. Nice.
I've watched too much Rick and Morty. It's probably just innate now.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Cool. All right. Susie, show us how professional does it.
So, hi, I'm Susanna Grace, otherwise known as Susie, and you can find me all over the internet at Susanna Grace. I'm a variety streamer who does tabletop games, art streams, video games, amongst many other things. I appear on other channels beyond my own, including this very channel, Encounter Roleplay. On Thursdays, I am the DM for the D&D 5e viewer game, Once Upon a Time. I also appear on WebDM on Sundays at 8 p.m. GMT, which is 3 p.m. EST, in a Cypher System game named The Lost Girls, in which we play vampires in the 80s. And it's so good. I got to kill a werewolf last week, and I got to eat him, and it was great. But yeah, hey, Sam, so the video game I've been playing on stream has been Resident Evil, so thank you for bringing me back into that zombie horror today. I thought I was free of it for a week, and I'm back in. Now all I can hear is Mr. X stomping around in my head and the zombies down the hall. So thanks, Sam. I'm going to try to sleep after this.
That's all right. Don't. He'll get you.
No.
Oh, thank you very much. All right, Shauna.
Hi, Shauna, Flying Source on Twitter, do art, that sort of thing. I play a couple games on the internet on Saturdays on Parsec RPG at 6:30. I'm in Hell's Rebel, which is a 5e conversion, and it's basically a bunch of spoiled nobles starring the revolution. And that was spooky. I have never been in a Cthulhu game. That was perfectly scary. The blood carriage.
Yeah. Oh, the blood carriage.
Oh, the blood carriage.
I got headlines for tomorrow's newspaper. Awesome. Thanks. Thank you.
Oh no.
Awesome. Callum, who are you? Where are you on the internet? And what are you doing?
I am Callum, the producer host of the Rollist podcast. Can be found on the internet, Twitch, Podchaser, iTunes, etc. It's the show, the proudly London-based show of tabletop RPG fans across the Channel of the Pond and beyond. Our last episode was about a London-based RPG club called Phoenix Games Club, and it even has some actual play of 13 Age, which is a bit steampunkish. The show is also a proud member of the RPG Academy network, and I took part to 2 recent episodes from the Academy of a series called Film Studies. We watch a movie and we review them from a point of view of tabletop RPG. The last movie we covered is Groundhog Day, which just happened in February 2nd. So if you like that movie and you're curious what ideas you could steal from it for your games and what games you could use to run that thing and what are our ideas about that, I recommend you check that on the RPG Academy network. You can meet me in person if you want on March 6th. We are organizing the monthly Le Drinks and Dice. We are changing venue. We're moving to Bad Moon Cafe, which is in London, close to London Bridge. It's a board game cafe, wargaming cafe, so you can go there and even play board game. And the idea is that you're going to have multiple clubs from London coming there, and we are not playing games, although you can rent a board game, but you can find players. If you're a player, you can find a table there in one of those clubs, or maybe individuals going there. If you're a game master, you can go there to find players, and if you are a member of a club, you can go there to meet members of other club, and I will be there. And maybe Virginia, Sam, maybe you can join us on March 6th? Yeah.
Yeah, it's on my calendar.
That
Dude,
would be cool.
speaking of Groundhog's Day, I actually have Stephen Tobolowsky's autograph. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh,
I saw him at an airport. And I was like, by the way, you're the finest insurance salesman Punxsutawney ever had. And he actually laughed his ass off, and I was like, I won. That's all that matters. I made him laugh. Anyway, he's a very awesome guy.
Yeah, did you check his interview on I Was There Too, the podcast?
I have not
He's
yet,
awesome.
no.
He talks about his experience on not only Groundhog Day, but Deadwood, and that's mind-blowing. That's amazing. That the shoot of those 2 projects were completely insane. And of course, Virginia, you can do a plug for Roleplay Heaven. Come on. Roleplay Heaven, which will be at the Drinks and Dice.
Yeah, so a couple of us here, Callum and Sam, are also members of the Roleplay Haven, which is a London/now Wales-based role-playing club. We have branches in Cardiff, Stratford, Lewisham and Archway, where you can come down and sign up, join at a table, play a bunch of awesome games. We have everything from D&D, Vampire, I'm running Star Trek, Masks, there's people running a bunch of stuff. And the best bit about it is it all raises money for charity. So at Stratford, we raise money for Mind. So it's kind of nice knowing that the money that you pay to show up and your membership stuff all goes to helping good causes. And we've raised a bunch of money last year at the Dragon Meet convention as well. So if you like role playing and being able to help out a bunch of other people as well, you should come down and join and come and play games with us all.
There's an
I want
awesome
to plug
cause.
everyone who's coming to Le Drinks and Dice. So if you come to Le Drinks and Dice, you will meet the Roleplay Heaven, Phoenix Games Club, you will meet the Rollist podcast, you will meet La Guilde des Rollistes Francophones de Londres, so the French-speaking role players of London, you will meet RPG, I don't know how to pronounce that, RPG Will Londinier, which is the Polish role-playing club of London. You will meet London RPG Community Meetup, you will meet London in the RPG, and yeah, the Roleplay Heaven. So So many clubs here. Whew.
Yeah, tons. There's loads of role-playing going on. Cool. Well, finally, I am Sam Webb, otherwise known around the internet as RPG Webby. I am head of development for role-playing at Modifius. I am also one half of Black Cats Gaming. We are going to be publishing a spy game, which is a role-play game, which is a 5e derived OGL published thing. So very recognizable rule set, and if you love spies, if you love running around secret missions, being the face, being the infiltrator, or being a technician, then look out for it. I'm going to begin testing it live on my channel, hopefully on Sundays. I'm currently chatting to a lot of cool people, some of which know people on here, some of which even might be still in chat right now. So when I have more info about that, I will let you know. Somehow on Twitter. If you've seen anything about the game today that you think is cool, or if you've seen anything you're not sure about, we would love to hear from you. You can reach out to me on Twitter at RPGWebby. You can talk to Virginia as well at Tabletop Horde. Don't forget to tag these lovely people in. Also, don't forget to tag Modifius in if you've seen anything about the game. We're hyping this up because we're releasing it later in the year, and we would love for your feedback. Thank you to chat for having a quick chat, talking a bit as well about some of the rules stuff that they like the look of. Thank you guys for giving me your honest feedback. Not only that, but giving me stuff that you like and having an awesome time with me on a late Friday after a solid week at work. It's been awesome. I don't want to miss another week, so we're not going to. So we'll see you next Friday and on YouTube forever, I guess. Thank you very much, and good night from us. Bye. Like Celebrity Squares.